man, got that tractor beam out of commission, or this is going to be a real short trip. Okay, hit it!
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Group Therapy, a show for Star Wars collectors. We get together every other Friday night live on YouTube and try to talk each other into spending a small fortune on hot toys, statues, helmets, and prop replicas. If they're expensive, we need a complete set. I'm your host, Steve, and tonight we are joined by Matt. How you doing, Matt?
Doing well. Thank you. Doing good.
Wait. I thought you were fired from this channel.
I heard that too.
Yeah.
Dude, I heard you got your pink slip, brother.
No, I just needed a bit of a break, you know.
No one talks to
Break
HR
from
about
what?
that,
This wonderful
by the way.
community?
Saying.
What's that, CZ?
No one talked to HR about that, by the way. I'm just saying.
I know. I didn't get approval, but
He was collecting unemployment. The Rogue One 6
I
unemployment.
needed it nonetheless. So yeah, happy to be back on Group Therapy. It's great.
All right. Awesome, Matt. Welcome aboard. CC, how you doing, CC?
Good. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Yep. It was my first day off since London, so.
First
Damn.
day off at all since London? Like, you worked every day since London? Holy shit.
So I mean, I had a day off, but like, I got my hair cut and I did laundry, so it
Yes.
wasn't terribly exciting.
Man, I've hardly worked since Celebration, so hardly.
I wish.
Is that a good
What?
thing, Chris, or is that?
Yeah, it's a great thing, actually.
Oh, okay.
I get paid whether I work or don't
gonna
work.
say.
So
I gotta say.
I get paid for what I know, not what I do.
Chris, how you doing?
I'm good. I've been just spending a lot of time in my garage. I'm happy about that. So glad to be on with the whole crew. And I mean, it's been like what, a year or so or more, probably. So let's get back to business.
All right. And Jason, how about you, bud?
Doing good. Glad to be back. Glad to have Matt back. Welcome back, buddy. And yeah.
I don't.
Nice,
I don't get to see your face, or is that just not?
That's
You
just
don't want
true,
to. You don't want to see his face.
Yeah.
Trust me, I saw way too much of him in Celebration.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that.
No, if StreamYard decides it wants to let my camera access, then I'll be on. But for now, you just get the soothing sounds of my voice. What is that beeping?
Sorry,
Somebody's-
my wife is sending me freaking texts.
Gosh.
Amateur level.
Damn it.
Jesus.
Rob sent me a text. He won't be on tonight. Nathan should be if he wakes himself up. So we should see him. I'm kind of disappointed about Rob because I wore the shirt especially for him today. I just want to show this off a little bit. All right.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
For all you Jar Jar fans out there.
I kid you not. Anybody watching, please let me know. In the celebration, the Facebook celebration group, someone had that T-shirt and they got it
Right.
framed. Did you see that?
Framed?
Framed. I
Well,
kid you not.
of course.
They framed that. They had the T-shirt wrapped around like a T-shirt frame, so you can just see the image.
That's
At first, I
funny.
thought it was you. I was like, this gotta be Steve. And then I was like, you wouldn't go that far and frame it.
No, man, I was walking through the mall and it was right there in the store window and it was calling out to me. So I went to the women's department and bought it. It was great.
Damn. It's a decision. That's good. Is it get a flare out at the hips? Is it the whole cut?
Other than Celebration, have you worn that in public?
What's that, Chris?
Other than at Celebration, have you worn that in public?
No.
Okay.
Just
It's nice though. I love Jar Jar.
that's right. He's fantastic. I knew that you would appreciate it.
What's he riding there? Is that like a what is that?
It ain't a
That's
wolf.
That's those creatures, right? Those what do they call these things? Kaibucks?
Oh, the thing they ride into battle or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Steve, how cool of a juxtaposition would that be instead of a Silker on Wolf, Jar Jar on Wolf?
well, Yeah.
Uh-oh. Hit me.
Although at Celebration, I did buy the Ahsoka on Wolf shirt, so that will be worn at the next group therapy for sure.
That's a really nice shirt. I almost bought it, to be honest.
Oh, I would if I ever saw you in that shirt, I would give you so much shit over that shirt.
Okay. That's okay. I can handle it. I thought it was really nice though. I did. It was really, really cool how they had the artwork slightly lower on towards like the hip and stuff. It was really nice shirt.
Yeah.
But no,
it was directly drawn, didn't they, Chris? Right? When we were looking at
it. Yeah, well, I mean, it looks like I originally thought it was something that somebody took a paintbrush to and just did in their backyard, in their basement. Yeah, but it wasn't too bad.
All right. So I will send Nathan a little wake up message. In the meantime, it's been a little while, Matt. Anything interesting in your collection lately?
I don't think so. I think I'm trying to slow down and be a little more deliberate about what I'm putting in here. And I mean, there's the
There's the $5,000 you just spent, but
the Emphas Nest, you know, there's gonna be the Tuscan, the Tuscan bust, whenever that happens.
Yeah. When is that supposed to happen, the Tuscan bust? Does anybody?
I don't know. Soon-ish, I think.
I think it's soon. I haven't been keeping a track on it, but I think it's soon.
Yeah. So that I think I'm getting the gaffy stick at some point. So I mean, there's things coming. It's just, you know, there's not a lot coming. It's not cheap. You know, the things that I'm purchasing are, you know, probably irresponsible. But yeah, they're coming. So
caviar taste.
looking forward to that. Yeah, pretty bad. Yeah.
All right. Oh, this sounds like
I've also gotten rid of stuff. So like a lot of the stuff I had on like my top shelf that I just wasn't looking at. I was like, this is stupid. You know, like there's no light on this shit. Like I don't care about it. Just get it out.
Still never put lights up there, huh? 2 years later, we talked about that.
No, and if I would have, I might have kept stuff, but you know, now that I didn't do that, I'm like, well, what's the point? If I never look up there, you know, what's the point? So I got rid of my Bo-Katan helmet. I got rid of, I think I still have the Mandalorian helmet, but I'm trying to sell that one because what's the point? And then I'm trying to think, there might have been a couple other things that I sold, but yeah. So, and then I did end up selling my giant Chewbacca bust at one point because it's just too much, too big. And I'm selling a couple busts to Jason because the big stuff in my room it's just too big. It's too much. So I'm trying to keep it a little bit smaller. I mean, the Tuscan bust is going to be, you know, sizable, but like,
yeah.
But like you look at the CZ3 bust is totally fine. You know, the Tuscan bust isn't that big. Oh yeah, I got CZ3. I've got most of the real robot stuff still.
I think for your space, pieces like that, like the CZ3, they're a little bit more cohesive. They display nicer. They don't look as confined.
Yeah.
Because a piece like Chewbacca, I don't think it ever looked bad on display in your space, but the layout and you know the limited size in which you utilize for your display, it definitely didn't have enough breathing room, if you will.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, I think you made a good choice because the Tuscan is not huge, but it's a little bigger than CZ3, and I think that with the gaff is going to look nice. Plus some of the theme you have going on with like the ESB, the Jedi colors, I think it would be good. Yeah.
I got a killer Return of the Jedi shelf happening right now, and I freaking love it. I just gotta.
You're gonna post a pic and hype it.
I know. Well, I don't want to, but that's fine.
What is it?
What's
on there?
Welcome back.
I've got CZ3, I've got Salacious, I've got Rancor, Regal Robot Rancor. I've got scattered throughout, which this isn't Return of the Jedi, but I've got the chess set scattered throughout, little bits and pieces, because it's kind of cool. You can kind of put those all over the place. And then I've got the Scout Trooper helmet, the Y-Wing helmet, the little bomb thing. What's it called? The bunker bomb?
Thermal yeah.
The blaster, and then the MYC Leia Boushh or Boushh.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's a killer little shelf, and so then I'm going to put the Tuscan up there. Gaffy's going to go somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, I
And
know.
then you know, hopefully the RS Boushh at some point. I mean, it's too many things. I'm gonna have to move some of these helmets off or do something. I don't know. I mean, if I could have 2 full Return of the Jedi shelves, I'd be happy. It's my, you know, it's my favorite. So I just hope that at some point I get an Ewok. At some point, you know, I can kind of do some of that.
Yeah, we got to make Ewok happen at some point. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I think it will.
All right, very good.
No Grogu's in my collection. No
not even
Grogu's.
Chia Grogu's.
Nothing. Literally nothing. And even if it's green at this point, I'm kind of put off by it. So yeah, it's I try to not get any of that shit. I just can't do it.
Did I tell you guys that I got a pair of Grogu boxer shorts for Christmas?
I believe
I
it.
think so.
We don't. That's okay. We don't need to know about them.
I think I pushed it out of my brain the second I
Yeah.
heard it.
Yeah, if you did, we definitely forgot about it very quickly.
I'll have to wear them one of these nights. I wear it goes well with the.
Can't imagine. I literally cannot imagine. I
Oh
just can't
well,
do it.
I
I can't
can.
do it.
I'll help you along. I'll help you
Your
along.
poor wife. Your poor wife.
She bought them for me, so don't say that.
She probably bought them for you and was like, "Oh, that was a mistake." Once you put them on, she's like, "Nope,
Bad
nope,
idea.
that doesn't do it for me. Put them away."
I put on the Rogue One on box shorts once for my wife, and she's like, "Nah."
Yeah,
Sorry.
Did you put on the Rogue One 6 underwear at some point?
Yeah,
It was like,
yeah,
Yeah.
they're horrible. They're
yeah.
absolutely
I don't
horrendous.
know what made them decide to make them out of the material they did. Did they
Okay.
even have any elastic in the band? I just
Not
remember
no elastic in the band.
No elastic
You know,
It's like sheepskin, made out of sheepskin. Freaking
it
ridiculous.
rode up on your hips so high and just was not comfortable whatsoever. Not.
And the slit goes right through the logo, so that makes a great picture.
Yeah.
So good.
The fly.
We should have put our faces on it.
Somebody did. Somebody made that picture. Remember?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a bit early to be talking about the pens. Okay, I think
Oh,
I've got at least 20 years before that happens, please.
let's hope so.
So, Cece, how about you? What's new in your world?
I'm trying to think. I think I talked about the prints I bought, right, like during Celebration. Not necessarily. I bought one at Celebration, but I think I talked about the 2 Phantom Menace prints I bought that were bottleneck releases in the dinner or so by Gabs. That was also a bottleneck release. One of those Phantom Menace was not actually. It was a private commission, and then I'm trying to think. I bought another print this week. It's a Boushh print, but it's a few years old. So I'll show that off eventually.
That's cool.
I'm trying to think. Obviously, I ordered Boushh, the helmet. I got my Scout Trooper helmet, which is sitting right next to me. I opened that like the other night, so that was good timing. I have a helmet coming Monday. And then I think that's it for the first. Oh, I do. I almost forgot I ordered that.
What helmet are you come on? What helmet?
The Kylo Ren concept.
Oh, nice. All right, cool.
Yep. So you're selling the cast. I have like the finish, like a finished painted one coming. And then I actually have the Tauntaun maquettes, like the heads coming in that I almost forgot I ordered. So those should be here soon-ish. And I think that's it. Mostly prints. And getting stuff in that I ordered quite a while ago.
What did you have over your right shoulder the other day? Was it the biker, or was it 2 days ago the biker scout that you had out there, or was it something else?
Honestly, it could have been this, or it could have been I bought a Hellboy bust.
Oh, I remember the Hellboy. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's like the sideshow concept maquette that they did. I don't even remember, and the box doesn't even have a year on it, but it's now like pushed off to the corner. But I've got to find a spot for that. But it's not Star Wars, obviously, but I love that. I think that's like an underrated piece, but they also did like 200 of them, so that could be why I don't see it in a lot of collections.
That's great. Those
Thank
are the types of pieces I like. The ones that other people don't have. That's cool. Jason, how about you, man? Anything new?
Yes and no. I mean, it's always something new, right? Just keeping busy, working on projects. As far as collectibles, you know me, man. I always kind of miss the mark. We're trying to remember. Got a couple commissions I've been waiting on that are coming in. I'm pretty excited about, looking forward to. But
You're still selling a lot of stuff?
no, not really. I kind of trickled down to the last few bits that I'm parting out. I still got a boatload of Hot Toys to get rid of, but I still gotta box them up and get them all sorted. They're not. I don't know. They're not worth anything anymore. So I mean, some of them are, ironically, but.
You started saying sorted a lot after we went to Celebration.
Sorted. Because I'm always being told I get sorted out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Say it, sort it.
Yep. See it, say it, sort it. Isn't that? I heard that how many times in the airport the one day.
Selling a Hot Toys is a pain in the ass, man. Just having to get all those accessories back in the box, change the hands back to normal hands, everything lined up.
That, I agree, but the good thing with that, with my Hot Toys, is most of the time, and I didn't put them in, bad poses. Like they look good aesthetically on display, but I never removed like the plastic from around the hands or the neck or the feet. I never took the accessories out. I never switched anything. So I would put them in nice pose, like a museum style pose, but they went from like the tray to the shelf, and that was it. Nothing else got touched. I think, Chris, I mean, you got a few for me. They're pretty much still wrapped in.
I can't imagine displaying them with the plastic still on the hands and the feet.
It's unintentional, but when they're in the case, when they're in the glass case, you really can't see the plastic. So they're like, most of them are pretty much untouched. But yeah, I got quite a few of those to go through. I wish I would have done it sooner, because now they're just a drop in the bucket. But otherwise, just that's it.
Yeah, Hot Toys don't have the value they used to have.
No, that used to be like printing money. Remember?
Yeah. I used to even think, I think I was telling Matt about it. I was like, why don't, if he was going to stop buying them. I was like, just buy them and you can use them as currency later on if you see something you want. But not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Absolutely not.
You take a bath on them now.
Huh.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, not on everything. There's probably some you can probably still get good money for, but
if you've got a new version of the Royal Guard, you're going to make mint off of that.
Oh,
well,
Jason knows that.
Yeah, if you sell it at the right price, that is.
Yeah.
Put a bath on that.
All right. How about you, Chris?
I got nothing new. I haven't been buying anything really. Just building stuff, and I mean, I get like a couple model kits a week, but that's different. I have not bought any collectibles. In fact, I tried. CC gave me the idea to contact this guy, this print guy, and he originally he told me he was that he would sell me a print, but I haven't heard from him in 2 weeks. So I wrote him twice, and I still haven't heard from him. So we'll see. But no, I haven't bought anything.
Okay. Not collected. Not tempted to sell anything.
No, not really. No.
I haven't heard that person's unresponsive. So if
you have heard that,
I have not heard that before. I've heard that they're very responsive. So if you want, I can hit them up too. I wonder if it just went to spam or something.
Yeah, I was wondering that myself. Maybe I'll have you hit them up, because I do want that print. I don't usually want prints, so I want that one.
Yeah, I like that one.
I think he'll if it's the one. Yeah, I think he'll
Well,
respond.
I wrote to him and said that, that we talked in Celebration, and he's like, "Oh yeah, here, I have one left. It's this much amount of money, and and if you want it, let me know." And I wrote him twice since then. I haven't heard back. So I don't know.
Be catching up
Well,
on things.
fix CC on him. CC will take care of it.
He's probably busy or spam or something.
Oh, I got that sideshow, the Yoda from what's his face, print Yoda, Vanderstelt. I got the Vanderstelt Yoda print from sideshow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Framed or
no, I got it without a frame. I'm running out of room on the walls. I got to sell some prints and be able to rotate in some new ones.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'll be selling those stout set. I got to raise some money because I decided to buy some some models recently. Now I've got to raise some funds.
Steve only has another 1,000 square feet of wall space, so he's got to figure out how to consolidate.
It's about time you start coming over to the right side of the
I
alley.
gotta mute myself.
That's funny. Yeah, really looking forward to that. So that's about it. I am selling a lot. You guys have seen the sales that have come up on Facebook.
Yeah.
I just moved everything over to eBay this morning because I don't really have much patience. People on Facebook, they're looking for flea market costs on these things.
Yeah.
They're
You put a price and they always want to jump it down right away.
Yeah.
On the first day.
If you're not selling it like at a big discount, they're whatever. They move on.
Sure.
So then now I got to deal with those people on eBay. Like, you list it up for auction and they're like, what's the minimum you'll take for it? And I'm like, dude, it's an auction. Just bid on it. It's so fucking annoying. I'm selling that the sideshow quarter scale Han Carbonite on Facebook, and it's damaged on eBay, and it's damaged. So I put it at a penny auction. I'll get what I get for it. I've got more Yahoos asking me about, how much will you take for it than I can deal with. It's really irritating.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't even answer.
You don't?
No, I don't even answer. Nope. If you don't want to buy it, then if you don't want to bid on it, if you don't like my non-answer, then don't bid it. Don't bid on it.
Cool.
Yeah.
What do I tell you all the time, brother? And hasn't it turned out to be true?
Absolutely. Yep.
If they ask a million questions, they want a million photos.
Yep.
90% of the time, they're not going to buy it.
They don't even bid
They
usually.
don't even bid. Now,
Yeah.
if you turn around and say, "Hey, this is $3,000," most of the time, the person is going to ask the question. Here you go. Boom.
Yeah.
You have a $200 item, and you're going to get 57 questions and 37 pictures you have to send.
Yep.
I had
somebody. Go ahead.
I had a weird experience on eBay recently where, like, I asked the guy a question, he didn't answer, and I was like a little annoyed because it was an art print, and he said that he had the regular version of the screen print, and I looked at it and I'm like, that's the variant, the one I want to buy. So I messaged him and was like, hey, like, I actually think you have the variant. That was a lower edition size. Is yours numbered out of like 300 or out of like 100? Because if it's numbered out of 100, that means it's actually the variant, not the regular. He never responded to me. And it was like weeks later that I was like, I remembered that I messaged that guy. And I'm like, I wonder if he still has the listing up. And I looked, and he had changed the title to variant, but the description still said regular. And I was like, you idiot. So I bought it. But part of me was like, if you just messaged me back and was like, oh yeah, it's the variant, I would have been like, cool, I'm buying it right now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I had somebody write me once, and they wanted. I put up my Slave Leia, and they wanted pictures of the bottom of it, the felts on the bottom. They wanted pictures of the art box, and they wanted pictures of the shipper box. And I was like,
The shipper.
F you. The shipper. The same guy asked me for all three of those things, and I didn't even answer. I just was like, yeah, okay,
This is
whatever.
not a hot toy. Come on.
No, I'm not wasting my time.
All right. Well, why don't we go ahead and transition into the things that have come out recently. So I'll share my screen
Waiting
here.
to see that smile. Waiting to see that smile. You opening your messages?
Who are you talking to?
Don't
Matt? Are you
Yeah.
sending Matt shit on the
know. I
side?
am. Yeah. Yeah.
All
Oh.
right.
Did I see something?
Well, okay. So first
It's
up,
just a private thing, but I had to share it.
Jason, we did a show last night. Why don't you? I just wanted to kind of give people a heads up. Why don't you tell people what the show was about, what we talked about?
So as you can see here, the show was about Lineage, and I think it was a good timing to bring the discussion up and bring up the topic. We invited Juan on, and which we greatly appreciate him taking the time to share a little bit of background and insight, especially with his level of expertise and his hand in screen use props, and getting his way up there with replicas and found parts, etc. I thought he made a great guest specifically for a subject and topic like this. And I gotta say, it's been a while since we sat down and did something that was sort of infotainment, and I think it went really well. I think we covered a lot of ground. I think there's a lot more we could have talked about. But yeah, I gotta say, it was great, but I really found the reactions interesting. We didn't get anything crude or disrespectful. Nobody trying to contest anything we said or negate anything we said, but we did get a lot of
That'll
feedback.
be tonight on the other show.
Possibly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Everybody thinks I'm a fool and have false hope that they may follow and do something, informative and educational as well. But I don't know. I mean, we can't speak for that, right? Till we listen. But yeah, I think it was good, and I think people missed that a little bit, and I think it was helpful. And we had 2 big releases, which we could talk about.
Yeah, we'll be talking about
the show. Yeah, but with those 2 particular releases, it was a good way to segue into the topic overall. So it was great, but some of the feedback today was really interesting, and everybody from random people that I've never really talked to or engaged with before to just the regular guys that we talk to on a daily basis had really given some interesting feedback and thoughts, and some even had just questions that you really wouldn't think of. Some were simple, some were complex, and not that they were asking, but just kind of like, hey, it made me think, and I kind of thought this or I kind of thought that, because the term is used so loosely and so openly. So I liked it. But with that being said, if I can just take a minute for a shameless plug. Chris, I didn't get a chance to message you because it was just right before we were jumping on. I had a quick chat with John and was thinking, hey, while on the topic, we covered a lot of ground last night. One thing we didn't cover was models. Mm-hmm. And that's another area where the term lineage gets used quite a bit.
Yeah, it does.
How does it apply and where should it apply? So I thought it would be a good follow-up for me and John to get on and discuss that a little bit and kind of get into some of those details, the differences between replica and actual lineage, etc. But yeah, no, it was great. And Steve, thank you. I know it was an odd time for you normally compared to what times we do the shows, but yeah, I appreciate you coming on and giving feedback and insight as well. I think it was really, really helpful to have a third person come in and.
Well, I have to say, I felt like the idiot in the room that makes everybody else look smarter yesterday. I know a little bit about Lineage. I'm really interested in collecting. It definitely does influence what I buy. And as somebody who's just a real novice in it, to sit there with you and Juan, both of you know just so much about it. To sit there with you guys and to learn from you about how Lineage works and all that, and the things to take into consideration. And we talked about the difference between lineage and accuracy and whatnot. It was fantastic. So I mean, if you're watching the live stream right now and you have any interest at all in Lineage, these guys are the guys to watch. So I would recommend you get on and check out the show. because I know I learned a lot, and you guys have a lot to give to the community.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Steve. Thank you.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
that's 20 years of collecting and relationship building, and here's the thing: it takes a village. It really does, right? And for anybody who watched the RS video today, I really like the way Rob put it, where he said, projects like this come to fruition because of the community. Who's able to give information, who's able to source information, who's able to help, with research and development and all of those things. And it really does. I mean, it takes a village. Another person that comes to mind with something like that is Jay Tie Pilot. He's very engaging with his passion for discovering everything he can about the TIE pilots. And in doing so, he includes the community. And with that, everybody gets to be part of that and bring it to the forefront and research it and figure it all out. And in doing that, you learn a lot, and you learn a lot about where these things come from and the provenance or lineage, if you will, on these pieces. And getting an idea as to like where that piece originated and how and why. And it's really interesting too with some of the earliest stuff, because everybody just assumes the archives, everything's in the archives, and there's just so much stuff in personal collections. I mean, there's stuff still being discovered today and pulled out of closets and boxes and storage units as people pass, and whatnot. So yeah, it's just a fantastic discussion, and I think it's something we can continue with from time to time. But yeah, thank you again for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So I was going to. Oh, I had something open, and now I'm having trouble. Oh, there it is. Okay. Nope, that is not it. I thought I had something open already. Just trying to find the pictures I wanted to share. Just had a little trouble. In the meantime, I thought that this was kind of funny from Far From Death Star, Chris.
Actually, the backside of that statue is actually really, really, really well done. So I'm sure there's lots of pictures of it on the internet. Just look them up. Yep. Yeah. That statue actually has the body is fantastic. The face has a butter face for sure. Yeah, pretty bad.
All right, I'm gonna have to reopen these here. Open with preview. Okay. So what I wanted to talk about today, start off with, is I'll close that up. Okay, go away. All right, so today's main topic is the RS Prop Masters Boushh helmet that was announced on, put up for pre-order, announced the pre-order on Tuesday, and then pre-order came up on Wednesday. They've done an update video on that today, which was really interesting to watch and learned about some of the challenges that they encountered with the launch of this. It certainly wasn't smooth, the pre-order, but it did get through. It finally worked out. But it's interesting listening to Rob and the amount of stress that he was going through trying to get that thing up and out to the public.
Got to remind people not to take pictures of helmets with a wide angle lens.
Okay.
You gotta take a picture back and then zoom in on it, right?
Yeah, you gotta figure that because now all of a sudden it's like someone's nose that looks freaking massive when you get up close to them.
Yeah. Well, first of all, this is a screenshot from the YouTube video. So this may be me distorting it, but you're the resident photographer.
Nah, they probably used a wide angle lens and got close. It's fine.
Yeah. So this is the helmet as seen in their video, and then this is it in the sea of Boushhs.
Dang.
Oh wow, they have that many made already.
Yeah, I guess they're pulling all the casts, all the shells already.
That I had not seen yet.
Yeah, this was from their video from last week.
Okay, I missed that one.
Yeah, yeah. It was the one when they went to see Guy Cohen.
Oh, I didn't. I watched the first half of it. I didn't miss the second half.
Yeah. So it's just really exciting to see, hey, they're actually making it now, right? And then this was they showed a lot of pictures of, I believe this is called the buck. Is that right? This is the buck that they used to on all, or is this like a casting of the buck?
That looks like a casting.
That's a good question.
That don't look like the buck.
Okay.
I don't know. Jason would know. I don't
Jason,
know why
any
he's not
idea?
talking.
You still there?
No, that's not the buck.
All right.
I think that was probably used. I mean, I know it was used for the vacuum forming because I think there's holes in the front.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
go.
finally.
Yeah, that's a secondary buck made from. That's not the original buck. It's another second.
So this is a buck made from the buck.
It's a buck of a buck.
A buck of a buck. Two
Got a
bucks.
cost of a
And
buck.
It's great eye, CC,
2 bucks.
pointing out the holes in it. I hadn't noticed that until you said it. But yeah, you can see the holes in it so that the vac forming can actually happen.
Mhm.
And then there's just various shots of that buck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the thing is you have to. So when you have the safety mold or the safety buck, there's flaws and issues in it. It's there just to play it safe. They make it as like, hey, just in case, So they probably made the secondary to clean it up. So this way, when they make the poles are a little bit more, in line with what they're aiming for.
Yeah.
Well, that I don't want to trigger anyone, but I have a feeling they have always done that because in the fire they didn't lose original molds or anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it also just generally saves wear and tear on the original, right? And there's no chance of accidentally dropping it and breaking it or something bad happening to it, right?
Yeah, I mean they're basically just plaster. They can easily be damaged if somebody slips up or has greasy hands or But this, especially a helmet of this shape and complexity, when you're pulling it, right, the visor part, the inner part, there's so many areas or room for error there. So like the neck where they added that little hump below the neck just to kind of smooth it out and let the back foam pull. Yeah. It just helps overall with the grading of it. I like that unfinished looking block like that. That's a cool display piece.
I know, dude. It's like I kind of want one of these.
Yeah, nice little work in progress piece.
Go with it, right? Maybe a buck and then an actual pole would be cool to kind of just show the making of it. But here we go with on the vac forming machine. Shows you how much they have to clean up here.
If I had a vac foam machine, I'd be playing with that. I'd be vac foaming everything.
Yeah, probably.
I thought you had one.
Probably body parts.
Not like this. I have one that's like big enough to do like I can't do a helmet. That's like that's like an industrial one. I have a desktop one for like models.
I could just see him putting his junk on that and vac forming it.
Hey.
Ouch.
No, I think the biggest surface area I have is like 12 by 12.
Too small for that is what you're saying?
No, it's just a little desktop. It's like a 3D printer. It's like one of those little sizes. This thing is the Formac. I mean, you can
Drax
throw
it
anything
went
in
right.
there.
Drax it went right over your head.
Yeah.
No, I got it. I totally got it. I
Thanks,
just wasn't feeding into it.
It's amazing how much I didn't realize how big these sheets are.
A lot of material lost there.
A lot of material is wasted, huh?
Yeah. I was thinking that earlier. Why not, make 2 at a time? But it probably, messes the whole thing up to have. I've seen them do 2 pieces on those at one time, but maybe they're just doing one because of the intricacy of the helmet.
Yeah. And then there's this character wearing the helmet at Celebration.
I've never looked better.
Is that Steve Sansweet?
Let's see. Oh, in the background, you mean? Or what do you mean wearing the helmet?
He's wearing the helmet.
Yeah, it's Steve Sansweet. You nailed it.
Well, you guys, who was at the lounge, the hotel lounge, and they were like, oh, say, what's the line? Yo, when she's talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did pretty good. It sounded good. I like sound like the vocator. That's
Yeah.
a that's,
Was
that's
anybody
a
else
tough
able to
fit.
get it- Was anybody else able to get it on their head aside from CC?
I didn't even try.
I couldn't get it past my chin.
Yeah.
It's a tight fit.
Listen,
It's a tight
I
fit.
didn't want that on my head after how many people put that on their heads. It's Celebration.
Well, yeah, it's Celebration, but when they first took it out of the case, I don't think anybody would tried it on yet.
That's true.
It seemed like Excalibur, like just people lining up trying to see if it fits.
Yeah, by this time, I mean, there's pictures of it floating around the forums with it like sitting on a pile of chicken wings.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, yeah. It's got like buffalo
And,
sauce next to it.
Check out the banner in the background with the Hyperdrive Rogue 16 and RS logos. Pretty cool. See that? Okay, so here are some more screenshots, and I believe that I'm trying to remember. I think most of these ensuing screenshots are from today's video. Really rich colors in these shots. I know that the leather is influenced quite a bit because the leather was originally yellow, and they've got to replace that.
Now people can stop bitching about not seeing it.
Yeah. I'm really happy that it's going to be fully working electronics. That's great. It's nice little touch.
And they've even, just to add, because if you notice in the films, whether it's Boba Fett or whether it's Boushh, the sequence in which the electronics operate at have a certain BPM, a sequence of which they beep and go in order. And I think they've narrowed it down to the sequence that's
Oh, good.
that displays. Yeah, so it's
Cool.
even that has accuracy to it.
Yeah,
which is a nice little Easter egg, nice little touch.
Yeah. So still some pieces to go yet. The rangefinder is obviously one of them. And then there's some pipes. The pipes haven't been added to the side. It's coming along.
To me, that looks phenomenal.
Yeah. All the various paint colors coming together. I mean, these caps on the side of the helmet, right? The caps with the leather strap in the back. Mm-hmm. How much time Rob spent tracking down was a capacitor, I think.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Looks smoking.
That's the front. Oh,
know what I like about it?
How'd that get?
You had to stick it in there. Had to.
That's a disturbing image.
No, it's not. And oh, by the way, those braces I got off yesterday, so I don't have my braces anymore. Yay! Go ahead, Jason. What were you going to say?
I don't even know. I don't. That picture threw me off, man.
I just got
I could hear the beards scratch it together like that.
Oh man,
in the picture,
it's making me nauseous.
Right?
Yeah,
can you hear that? Can you hear that?
Imagine all the beards just rubbing together.
Yeah, I can hear it in my head.
You're just jealous. That's all.
Yeah, I wish I could be caught in between that threesome.
This view is so sexy of that 1138. Oh man.
I listen. I don't know how people look at this and think that something off of Etsy looks just as good. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
In 3 years of us doing this show, have you ever heard me get upset on the show?
No.
I was when that comment came out. I'm like, just don't be.
Are you about to get upset?
No, when we did the Boushh show, I was like, do better. Like, don't take a $300 helmet. Like, it looks exactly the same. And I don't play the defense card, but that's just don't be a knucklehead.
This looks good.
Speaking of knuckleheads,
Well, Nathan, hop on, dude. You can hop on.
Oh, I
So-
remember what I was going to say, Steve, before the
Later.
disturbing image was a lot of the custom ones, and there's some great ones out there, but I don't know if you guys will agree. Chris might. They look honking. They look just. Chris, you get what I'm saying.
Well, they're made bigger so that they fit it on a dude's head. Everyone I've
Yeah,
seen
but
has been.
But the snout and everything just has that like in your face. Like it doesn't have that kind of tufted, just visually, even the ones that are correct and look really good, they're just like, wow.
So this is a good shot of how this helmet is made from multiple shells. Jason, you know how like they cast it twice and then they cut the second one up, and then the pieces from the second one are overlaid, giving you this panel-like effect on it.
I mean, even the original helmet before the additional layers, and I don't know if people realize this, but when you for those who ordered and you received the helmet, just like any other RS piece, it's going to be made the same way it was made during production. You'll see that the helmet is two halves fused together, and you'll see that from the underside, because just like for those of a Y-wing or a biker scout, where you see the fusing with the strips of styrene and plastic, it's the same thing. They fuse it the shells, and then those two shells get fused together, and then the layers get put on top of that to cover and mend those together as well. But it acts as both a structural integrity aspect of the build and also an aesthetic part of the build. So it's a twofer. I like it.
I remember the night, Jason, we were talking with Rob. We probably were on for maybe 2 hours talking about the seams on the top of this helmet between the panels and where the seams came from and what the theories were on how the thing was constructed, right? He spent so much time working to get this as perfectly close as possible.
Yeah, there's a lot of reverse engineering that went into that.
Yeah. Let's see. How many more of these do I got? I got a few more. Okay, good.
It's like musical chairs in here tonight, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Chris. Let's see.
I don't know.
All right. Little side shot of the Greeblies.
Steve, I'll be right back. I got to put my kids to bed real quick, and I'll be right back.
All right, sounds good.
CC Annabelle says hi. That's randomly. So
Tell her I said hi. Look forward to July.
okay, sure. All right, just a second.
We'll hang out. Yep.
So
That's sweet.
this damage on the side, does this have to be? Comes out in the forming process, Jason, or does this have to be added after?
No, the harsher in-depth detail is in the design, but like the additional gashes are added when they're doing the weathering. Not just the paint marks, but the actual they're gashing it a little bit.
Okay, so they do have to gash it. Okay, so
Yeah.
thank you.
Jason, my internet was cutting out before. You had said about some of them look bulbous in the nose, right?
Yeah,
The other ones, I think that they stick out too far on the sides.
the flare, right?
Like up at the temples, they just come out like way too far, and they're not like I think this one has more of a tapers from that the temples down, whereas other ones just come
probably
straight
makes
up.
it look more bulbous. That probably contributes to it. Make it
This goes tapered, but the fan made ones go straight and then out. Like they don't. That's why I don't like them. If you could show like the front, what I mean, like the front view, Steve.
Oh, well,
So you can see the whole front.
Side view.
What do you mean? Like looking at the snout. Not that one. That's a bad one.
I don't have much else from the
Or even
front.
even the one on Cece's head. Oh yeah, that's good. See how it's not so separated? It kind of tapers up. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
No, you're 100%. You're 100% correct. It looks a lot more proportioned,
Yeah.
and this also puts to rest too the safety block issue that we talked about during the Lineage show. If you go back one, Steve. So if you go back one image.
This one?
No, the one where we were looking at the
When I was
visor.
just this one?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So if you look where Chris was just talking about how it flares, right, the two sides, you'll notice that it doesn't have that straight line above the electronic part. I'm just saying it for the sake of it because I don't have the mouse, but it goes up, it angles up. And that's how it's supposed to be. A lot of them will come and just kind of go straight across. Oh, they have a
Horizontal.
Yeah,
Oh,
horizontal.
you mean flat, like the top is flat, you mean?
Or it'll have
Okay.
a raise, but it's very, very subtle. This is
Yeah.
a lot more, rounded
Angular.
and defined. Yep.
Ah, interesting. Okay. Yeah.
Like the facets on the temple.
As always, excellent detail on the paint. And then this is the final shot. Okay. So, a couple things are being done different on RS's side that Rob talked about. They're putting the full power of their shop, working on it all at once. I found his video really informative today. How he talked about how in the past the special projects were kind of done with the leftover hours after their core business was taken care of. So, they're focusing on generating, TKs and whatnot regularly. And then, okay, we have a few hours left over. Let's go work on the special run. And that's why those tend to take so long. And I think they've heard, hey, these things take forever. And so they're trying to adjust. And now they're going to put the full weight of the shop and make this the priority that they work on. The other interesting thing about that part of that conversation was said, as a result, because they're putting the full weight of the shop on it, I guess that's increasing their costs. And I was really, really shocked to hear him start talking about how, there's been that accusation that's gone out there about, they've seen how much their helmets are going for on the secondary market.
The prices, yeah.
They're trying to get a bite out of that, right? And, Rob said, well, it doesn't affect me really, or the business really, but the people that work for us see how much their work is now going for on the secondary market. And they believe, and he said rightly so, they believe that they're worth more, their time is worth more, and so their wages go up, right? So between the primary hours being dedicated to this and the wages going up, and then the cost of shipping and cost of materials and all that, he really kind of explained some of the factors that went into the increase in cost this year. So I highly recommend, if you get an opportunity to watch his video from today, the 28th of April. It's definitely worth your time. Did anything from those videos stick out? The video today stick out to you guys?
Rob in the shower when it started.
Yeah, a lot of time was on the website, huh?
Listen, they had even said, like, and I know we didn't really want to talk about price too much because it's been played out, but he even said, he's like, you can't compare it to Boba Fett and the Y-Wing because that was 5 years ago. That was before COVID. That was before prices went up. That was before shipping went up. That was before everything went up. So, and listen, the RS they're never going to price gouge people. So when people were going crazy about this, it's just like, shut the hell up. They're not that company that's going to just be like, oh yeah, let's make $1 million off this thing. So that's just my little soapbox rant. We can move on.
Caesar asks about the autograph. Rob said they're going to announce that next Friday on their show. Cool. Next Friday. So that's good.
Cool.
But that's going to get out finally.
Yeah, so I think they mentioned kind of like showing the build and a little bit of the process as it moves along, like with updates.
Yeah.
And he talked about like it not being intentional, but it worked out in that way. But one thing he said, and I know this wasn't intentional, I really, really liked it. He said, all these comments about not seeing the stand, not seeing the signature, not even seeing a finished product, no rangefinder, etc. And he's like, although this wasn't planned, it goes to show that like our work and our craftsmanship speaks for itself. Those who really want it are going to buy it regardless of who signed for it, what the stand looks like or doesn't look like. And I was just like, wow, that's impactful. Sight unseen, that it's worth getting.
Yeah.
We all know that. We all know that.
Not everybody does, and that's
there's the core group of diehards.
Yeah,
that really know the RS work and really desire it, and then there's a more casual collector, right? And I think that he was kind of tipping his hat to the core group and saying, look, if you really do trust our work and support us, you'll want to get this even though you haven't seen the final product.
Yeah, and you'd be highly rewarded too.
Mm-hmm. So I was at I promise this is related. I was at a corporate offsite meeting this week where they made an interesting. They said something interesting. Said whenever you're getting together with a group of people, and you have a whole diverse group of set of opinions, always assume noble intent. Which basically means, when you're looking at somebody, you're like, what the hell were you thinking when you did that? Right? You should always assume that they had a noble intent when they did what they did. I think that proved to be true when listening to Rob today explain what happened with the launch. So first of all, he had intended to give 2 days, not just 1 day. It intended to give 2 days, but he made an honest mistake.
Yep.
And then he had intended to send an email to everybody, but with the changes in privacy laws in Europe, I guess their existing mailing list kind of got screwed up because you have to opt in now. And so they have to basically recreate the mailing list, and that's why so many people didn't get the email. So there were some really good rational explanations for exactly what went on. And you should always go ahead. I'm sorry.
And also, when he was trying to make it live, he couldn't get on because so many people got on.
He couldn't get into administer his own page, right?
Yep.
He had all the same problems that we did. So yeah, we need to assume noble intent when people do things. All right. Any final thoughts on this?
It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's I don't know, man. That's just it speaks for itself. That's something.
Should we say anything regarding the logistics if you missed out and what to do?
Go ahead.
So like there is a wait list. Just email Andrea, obviously. But I know a few people who've contacted me saying they're on the wait list because they've contacted Andrea. So if you did miss out and you'd like to get on the list, they do have one. Just contact Andrea. Because I've seen a few people saying how disappointed they are and that they missed out. But I'd hope that those people also know that there's a chance that with any long-term project that people tend to get cold feet like right before things ship. At least that's my experience with statues anyway. So do get on the wait list if you are interested.
Good point. Thanks, Cece. All right. Any other final thoughts before we wrap this piece up?
No, I don't think so.
Is everybody getting it? Is anybody not getting it?
I picked that one up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Moving
And Matt's
on.
getting it too. I'll speak for him because he's still putting the girls to sleep.
Yeah. All right. So now we're going to move on to something else, and for this, I'd like Jason to lead the conversation here. Hey, Jay, got several helmets from EFX. Maybe you can
Right.
lead the charge on this.
Up to the plate on this one. Okay, yeah. We can talk about this a little bit. So, a little controversial, EFX, right? Because of some of the things that had taken place and people not understanding, why they would cut so much slack, especially with this project specifically. I think it was somewhere around 8-9 years, give or take, in the making, where when they started out their Vader helmet, they did the 3 versions: the Limited, the Legend, and the PCR, which we'll get to. But the Biker Scout was also supposed to be a Legend helmet, which this one is technically. Also the Boba, which just ended up as a PCR. So the thing about this, right? We've seen a number of posts, and I don't think anybody should be punished for enjoying this. If you got this and you love it, and you've waited 9 years for it, and it's all that you thought it could be and more, then you know what? I tip my hat to you. I think it's something that you should display proudly and enjoy it. Now, there is going to be some criticism because EFX had a pretty difficult time nailing this, and aesthetically it does look a little off. But I'm not here to pick apart the helmet in that manner. I think for the price, it's right in line with a licensed piece where the blaster is cast directly from a screen used, and the helmet itself is directly from screen used bucks.
Which one are we looking at here, Jason? They don't list you mentioned 3 types. I don't see.
This one's the Legend. So they did the Limited, which was on the clear stand. So that one got released. They had the clear stand with the little silver plaque, and this is the Legend.
Legend anywhere on here, or?
I don't know if they. I don't know. No, I don't think. Maybe this is a Sideshow. Yeah, maybe Sideshow just didn't put it.
Okay.
Yeah. So this one is the Limited, which basically gives you, when you have the way EFX operates in that sense, the Limited is as close as you can get to the original screen used asset, meaning in design, the way it was manufactured, and the way the paint job, etc., lines up. Now, again, that could be argued, right? That could be contested easily because a lot of people express how they didn't like the paint job. The inside is heavily lined with padding and such. But again, it's a licensed product, so they're not going to leave something looking unfinished because licensed products are usually purchased by the masses. And although the original screen used one, I hate to say it, but RS is the best example for anyone who owns that. You see the inside is raw. You see it's 2 hats fused together. That's basically what you saw on screen. But this is a little bit cleaned up and a little bit more, as we discussed last night, sanitized or idealized. But I think overall it's a decent piece. And I don't think anybody should be badgered for owning it and enjoying it. Everybody's open to their opinions, and everybody has the right to their opinion of it. But overall, it's a decent piece. I think it's a little overpriced. I think for the amount of time that it took to release was a bit egregious, but otherwise, yeah, it's a Biker Scout helmet.
All right, so I'm going to play the counterpoint here on you, Jason, a little bit. So a couple things I noticed about this helmet is the asymmetry in the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
The right eye looks a little bit droopy. I was looking at my RS1. I don't really see that.
Right to me.
Sorry?
That looks right to me. I'm holding mine.
I don't see any droopiness in yours. Hold on, let me pull it up.
No, there's a little bit of a difference.
The side opposite mine.
I'm not seeing nearly as much droopiness. Like if you look at the top edge here, let me go back to this. Hold on, CC. See this top edge right here on that side?
Oh, I thought you meant the lower, like the. Let me try to see if I can pop this up. This part.
Okay. So let's work our way around. I'm noticing that line droops in. I'm noticing that side is smaller. Do you have the FX? Is that the FX in your hand?
This is the RS that I mentioned when we started. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. Okay. All right.
One thing, Steve. I'm not trying to defend this helmet in any way, but like we could definitely sit here and pick it apart, right? But here's the thing: the biker scouts were made plentiful, right? They made quite a few. So these, although both lead back to, production and screen use assets, they both can come from two completely different, originating pieces. So this may come from one set of bucks, the other one may have a totally different buck. A lot like if you look here for the EFX, for example, if you look at the ears, look at the right ear and the left ear. See how they're misaligned and asymmetric?
Yeah. No, and totally normally asymmetry. What happens for me when I get a piece like this is I look at it and I notice the asymmetry, and then I go looking for reference that says, yeah, that's right. Okay. I haven't been able to find any reference that says, yeah, that's right. Maybe there is. But that eye to me really jumped out at me. And maybe it does come from a different different lineage to where it came from, and that's perfectly normal. But to me, the eye really jumped out at me.
Oh yeah, it does. It's visually, it definitely throws you off a bit. It threw me off.
And I've seen some people with it in hand where it looks even much
it does.
worse.
It's much more prominent for sure.
Yeah. The other thing I noticed about this is the paint job. It definitely looks like somebody took a spray can to it and hit it with the spray can to do the weathering. Some of the dots are really particularly large. The paint blobs on it are particularly large on it. So overall, for me, I'm not impressed by the look of it. And then you add the base with the man. Why did you you're adding a pistol to this, and then you glue it to the base? It's just, I just don't understand the whole thing. I don't know.
It's like a stunt pistol too.
Oh, I just realized. I bet it has to do with their license.
Yeah, because you can't do.
They're not. They're probably. I mean, they make the lightsabers, but they're probably not licensed for weapons, so that they had to put it on the base permanently. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to include it.
No, they're licensed for weapons. The weapon can't be a standalone piece.
I just realized that's a miniature bunker as the base.
Yeah, it is. It's a miniature bunker. Yeah.
Oh God, I hate
Does that make you want it even more?
I'm not a big fan of those at all.
Oh, I hate that.
I didn't know what it was.
Is this the one behind you, Cece?
No,
Oh.
No, I have the RS.
Oh,
I hate King Kong bases.
I didn't pre-order this 9 years ago. Sorry.
9 years ago. That's too bad.
Were you like 10 at that time, Cece?
Ouch.
That's actually nice.
No,
very kind
I
of him to say that.
hate King Kong bases. I really do.
Here's another thing too, and just to play devil's advocate. Now this isn't fact. I mean, this is just kind of hearsay and rumor, but I think there's some substance to it. Now everybody thinks that EFX was doing a rug pull, right? That there was this like sort of seedy American greed situation going on, but this is a complicated helmet to produce and make. And just because RS pops them out the way they do, and even some other custom makers, when you have a factory producing this, trying to get it right, especially where you want to have it look imperfect, because the limited run is cleaned up and idealized, just like the Vaders, which we'll talk about in a moment. They were having a really difficult time producing it the way it should be produced. And eventually I think they had to find a way to make it as one solid piece. So I think they produced one after the other, and nothing was coming out right. And probably, I probably went as far as maybe switching factories and, changing hands and, going over various levels of quality control. I mean, that doesn't excuse 9 years, but
Are you trying to like
no,
make people feel better, or like what?
No, but I'm
just trying to play the other side, Matt. I mean,
I didn't think there was another side. That's
but
fine.
because we can't just come with our pitchforks and nooses and just go for the effects. At the end of the day, like there are reasons.
The thing that I have, Jason, is when I look at this, I'm not sure if this is trying to be a idealized piece or an accurate piece.
Supposed to be inaccurate, but they couldn't establish it, so it became idealized. Is what happened.
Right.
Well, dude, look at the Steve. Look at the text that your mouse is over right now. Read that piece of text.
Well, my mouse is over.
No,
the
it's
helmet.
over, whatever the mount with that one right there. The piece of text is to the right of the helmet.
As read, this is set in one of the most accurate representations of the screen use props.
I mean, are we just not supposed to? Like, that's what they're trying to make.
I don't agree with that. Yeah. Yeah. Now Jason did make a good point. You know, you don't know what the original mold, you know, the lineage of this piece. I was pointing out earlier how droopy that eye is, and I don't think that's right. But they very well might go back to something that had.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even talking about that. To me, just the weathering looks like dog shit. But
now,
you know, maybe that's supposed to be looking like that. I don't know.
I do think that the weathering is particularly bad. Last night we were looking at pictures of scout helmets afterwards, and they're actually weathered a hell of a lot more. And even the RS one doesn't have nearly the weathering that they did on screen. I would love
heavily weathered.
Well, there's multiple colors. There's brown weathering.
Yeah, I got you.
And the lens is all scuffed up,
right.
And it's a lot more. And when I looked at it, I kind of thought, oh, gee, I'd love to go to RS and ask them to make us some like really weathered ones.
Yeah, sure.
So I even from that perspective, I think the weathering could be a lot more. But when I look at this, to me, when I look at this one, I think somebody took a spray can and hit it with the spray can a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the RS one is a lot smoother, a lot more natural. Which one is more screen accurate? You know, because some people point out that you do see some paint splots on screen used ones at times as well.
Sure.
I don't know. I look at this thing and I think, I'm not attracted to this one at all. I wouldn't want this one.
I'd almost say it's the photographs, but I haven't liked the weathering in hand photos as well. I just think the issue is like these photos, it looks so stark. Like the helmet looks stark white, and then it has that like rattle can where there's a lot more like degrees of weathering as far as there's like you know, dark areas, and then there's like mid areas, and then there's light areas. Whereas this, it looks like it's white, and then they just took black, and there's no in between.
Yeah, I mean, look, the helmet is what it is. I think it doesn't look great, but whatever. Maybe it is accurate to whatever they're trying to replicate. The base is unforgivable. Like, the base is just embarrassing. I mean, come on.
Yeah, the theme bases. Please stop with the themed bases.
The problem with the theme base, I know this can be subjective. Most things can be subjective, right? I like chicken, you like fish, etc., whatever. But with the theme bases, it seems to be across the board. I haven't yet met a single person that's like, I love me a theme base. Not only that, we talk about this constantly. It visually deters from the piece. It competes with it.
Yeah.
It competes with it, and it hurts it. And it's one of those things where it takes more time. You have to go into, product and development. You have to, look, the Lando helmets were finished before the bases, and it delayed shipping on the first batch. It's just one of those things where it's like,
and this
theme bases aren't.
And Jason, you're right. This is the problem. This is the problem right here. That like 10 years and you get this piece of shit.
No,
like
no,
I'm sorry, like come on.
You're right. 10 years and it's like, let's just send them something. Here's a consolation prize. I feel like there should be a little chain hanging from below the chin. It looks like a lamp.
It does.
It does.
Oh my God.
Right.
Like a pottery barn for kids lamp, like the Star Wars.
Dude, honestly, Jason, if it was, it would be better. If you had a lamp in there and it lit up through the eyes and the ear holes, and like maybe out of the top, it would actually be like people would be probably like, oh man, maybe I should pick this up. Like Sideshow's selling like a lamp. That's kind of cool.
When I first saw it, I said it's missing the little pull chain. It looks like a lamp.
Yeah,
I just
I
think that if you are claiming,
see it now, can you?
No. If you claim to make the most accurate helmet possible, why would you make the most accurate helmet possible and then stick it on a base that is themed, is not accurate to anything,
Well,
totally competes when you're trying to have perfection next
Yeah.
to Disneyland?
Steve, you know what the biggest problem here is that like helmet collectors. I mean, what helmet have you bought that has a themed base other than the Clothears one? The Clothears one did that with the massive iron thing that came with it, which I don't like. But they're doing it. They tried to do it here. I don't think it really works with helmets. I just don't.
It doesn't
think
work with
works that well.
statues either.
It does work with statues sometimes.
Well, no,
like-
I mean
Vader.
Vader standing on top of his.
No, I
his
get you.
castle.
I get you. But like Moff saying that Prime 1 makes the best theme bases. I mean, look, there are bases that are freaking amazing that are theme bases. They do have them, but they're statues. Like statues do a good job of doing that because they can do that. I agree with you. Like there's also statues that do it like this, like the Vader standing on the freaking medieval times, and it just doesn't work. It just looks bad. And that's what this is, man. It looks really shitty. That gun looks like freaking. It looks like you bought it at Target and just set it there for the shop.
How much is this?
9 something.
Wow.
Now, I in a way I feel bad too because there's a lot of friends of ours, a lot of friends in our community who went out and bought this. And a lot are disappointed, a lot like it. And I think as Jason
Some
said in the
people went out
beginning,
and bought it after the fact.
yeah, that's true also. Jason said in the beginning, if you like it, you enjoy it, great, good for you. None of the opinions that we're expressing here are meant to shit on you or anything like that. For us, generally we just do not like this at all. It just doesn't do what we think a helmet should do.
No. It's a fail. There's nothing wrong with that. EFX could have delivered it, and it's not. I don't want to get into the whole license accuracy thing again, but it's just they dropped the ball here. Which moving on to the next piece.
I know some people, guys. I know some people like licensed pieces only, right? And so, like, where else are you gonna get a good licensed?
Yeah,
listen, I feel like licensed pieces fall short in most examples.
I mean,
like this.
But look at Regal Robot.
Well, yeah, okay.
Regal Robot knocks it out of the park every single time.
The one that is totally. I'm wrong about that. Okay,
I think
Regal Robot knocks it out. Yeah, they're the exception.
Sure.
But EFX, I haven't really seen anything that really tickles my fancy yet.
When they first came out, and I said this before, when they first came out, EFX was killing it. I mean, they had.
Well,
Jason, isn't that Master Replica was killing it too? Like
Master Replica. So you had Iron Destiny. Iron Destiny probably did an okay job. Master Replica stepped up and knocked it out of the park. You had a full museum quality display piece right out of the box.
Right.
Guys, think about
of it was killer. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Think about the garbage and Novo shit we saw at Celebration. Like we walked into that Novo's tent.
Novo.
Everything was terrible. Every single piece looked god awful.
The paint was atrocious.
Oh, Bo-Katan looked like it was thrown up on. It was awful.
Yeah. So in the meantime, here we've had a friend of ours join us on the show. Hello, Nathan.
He's being awful quiet. Nathan, did you get this? You're being quiet.
Can you hear me, first of all?
Yeah, we can.
Yes, we can hear you.
Good.
So what do you think of the helmet, Nathan? What are your thoughts?
I did see pictures of this the other day, and yeah,
Be honest, brother. Be honest.
I mean, it's the weathering for me. Really, it looks like it's just been spray painted.
Right.
Like it looks like I think Cece said it or something. It looks like overspray from someone's spray paint can.
I'm telling you.
And the fact that people have waited, I don't know how people could wait 10 years for something like this. But yeah. Not,
yes.
But the Scout Trooper helmet is one of my favorite helmets as well.
Yeah, I know.
Which,
but Nathan, do you have the RS Scout?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's the one I actually looked at from RS
Yeah,
like a year or so ago. But
you need to get it. It's fantastic.
yeah.
It's such a good helmet.
But I'll be honest, I'd prefer to get the new Black Series Scout over this one.
Nathan,
Wow.
I actually said that
agree.
last night. The Black Series, I gotta say, they're for the price, they're killing it lately. Like
Yeah.
they are delivering. For $100
Well-
bucks, you're getting a great Bo-Katan helmet, Death Watch.
Jason, don't they have access to everything? Like
They do.
they
Some
do,
of them,
right? I mean,
I don't want to say all of them, but some of them were digitally scanned. I think.
right.
Some of them. Yeah.
I did just pre-order the new Clone Trooper one, the one that they showed at Celebration.
Oh, that's cool.
30-second
Yeah.
one, which looks pretty cool.
I'm debating getting that one too, just to have it for display, because it's like I don't think I want to pay out the nose for a De Novo when I think the Black Series,
Yeah.
if it's just going to sit on a shelf. And actually, what I like about the Black Series Scout as well is that I was debating. I don't know if I'll do it because I'm not good at finishing projects, but I'd love to paint it like Ezra painted a few of them in Rebels,
Yeah, right.
or it was like the graffiti style.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
Steve. Go ahead.
That
No,
would
no,
be
no. I
cool.
was agreeing with you. Cool. Yeah. Jason, you want to move on to the next one?
Yeah. Okay, now this is the complete opposite. Okay, this thing's
It
what?
swings the other way.
It's upside down, right? You're paying $940 for that, whatever it is, right? I'll be polite. For $349, you're getting a great, and I literally say a great representation of a Vader helmet. And if you have some painting skills and you're comfortable with it, you can even have at this and give the proper paint job, because this is very idealized and very stylized as far as the paint job and it being cleaned up. But proportions, the lineage it has, going back to one of the 6 Rick Baker pulls, which EFX had access to, which both the Limited and the Legend are made from. This is basically made from the same run. It's just made of a different material. It's not made of fiberglass. It's PCR, which basically it's a plastic helmet. But that doesn't deter from the fact that this is for $349. You can't. I mean, there's makers out there who charge double this and don't even make something as accurate as this for the price. I mean, this is a no-brainer. Yeah, I mean, this is a huge high five to.
So why the massive price difference? I don't understand what's going on.
So with the Legend, again, it's meant to be a close representation to the screen use. So they try to use same materials, same details, paints, etc. They try to match everything exact. Cast from original. Even though this has Lineage, there's nothing limited about this. This was already released 3 times already over the last decade. This, I think, is the 3rd or 4th time they've released it, and they released it in batches of hundreds, if not thousands. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, because a Black Series helmet at Target is what, $129, $140 for a Vader,
Right.
and it's extremely disproportionate and funny looking. This thing has Lineage, and it's bang on as far as the look and size if you're doing a display or a life-size Vader. Now, it's missing a lot of accuracies and nuances as far as detail goes, but you can't beat, for $349, you can't beat this. You really can't. Anybody who's missing a Vader helmet in their collection and you're not concerned about accuracy, this is the way to go.
So this is going to be like a PVC's type helmet, Jason?
Hard plastic. Like the Boba Fett. You had the Boba Fett. The Boba Fett was PCR. It's that material.
Yeah. I'm thinking, the thing that I'm comparing it to in my mind is the Anovos.
Like a Dom Post. Anovos. Yeah.
The Anovos is nice and really thick and solid. It's like, I don't know if it's fiberglass or whatever underneath, but it's, a substantial helmet that's, fantastic. It looks really good. And that's about $1,000, right? So I'm kind of in my mind trying to figure out, okay, what's the difference between the Anovos versus the EFX in terms of build quality? Completely different. This is made out of
class, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Got some more pictures here.
I think a lot of people ordered this today or over the last couple of days.
It was tempting for me, but I have the Anovos, so I'm just like, I could
And
always have
also,
more than
yeah.
one Vader, but I think I
I mean,
need some encouragement for this one.
again, like if you can get this painted, I think Harry Loves posted a picture where he has this, and I think he painted it himself.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, all you gotta do is throw a paint job on it, and you're there.
Hmm.
I mean, you don't even have to paint it. That just
Am I
brings
there
it-
am I there if I don't paint it? Because I'm not going to paint it.
No, I was gonna say, even if you don't paint it, I mean,
No.
it's still. But I'm just saying for the price. I mean, it doesn't
Yeah.
cost much money to add paint to it. So
Did we lose Nathan? We lost Nathan.
Yeah, he was struggling. It looked like he had his phone propped up on a box or some shit. So he's coming. I'm sure he'll get back.
Come back, Nathan. All right. Any other thoughts on this one before we move on to the next one, Jay?
No, this one's simple. Like I said, they made three of them. The limited, the legend, then this one. The legend was the one signed by Brian Muir at the time. Has a large base. That's when EFX are doing things right. The legend at that time had the signature plaque by Brian Muir when it wasn't a regular thing and easily accessible. It had the info. It had the lineage. It had details of the run, and it was a really nice packaged piece. But that's when they were knocking it out of the park. I mean, that's right around the same time they released the McCory Vader. You couldn't go wrong with the effects at the time, because they were really bringing it. But yeah, I mean, at this point, it is what it is. So, but this is a good choice. If anybody's interested, I think for $349, you can't go wrong.
All right, and then last up.
All right, this one's interesting, and I'm interested to hear the guy's thoughts. Only because I think this has some lens distortion on it. I think when you get it in hand, it's going to look a little bit better. So just like the previous
Photographs.
Yeah,
This
who
way.
took this picture? Like, what kind of a freaking idiot puts a picture up like this?
Yeah, this has a lot of lens distortion. It's bad. And I'm not even claiming to know about photography, but
Dude,
you
this
can
looks
tell
like
it's
someone
not.
took this on like an iPhone 6, like an iPhone 6.
Hey, come on.
iPhone
Like
6
Steve
is
took this picture. The EFX was like, "Hey, Steve, we're sending you
I
a
did
helmet.
the best I could. Come
Can
on.
you take a picture for us? We want to put it up on Sideshow."
I think
thing is,
Colin
though,
has it right.
Here's the
with his
problem.
question.
When you're selling a piece for $800, you need to step the game up with the photography, because
No
I
kidding.
wouldn't doubt if this thing was actually a good representation of the original helmet. Right now, we've seen a lot of custom makers make them, and they claim to have good proportions and accuracy, but this has Lineage, and whether that's doing some due diligence, some research. I don't think it was a practical cast to cast. I think it was some digital scanning, some references, some photos, things like that. A lot of accessible references, because it's a modern show, and I'm sure there's quite a few armor helmets for production. But yeah, the thing is like, if you can go to a custom maker and pay $400 or $500, I don't think this is that bad at 800 to get something that has the Lineage. If you are a licensed collector and you do want Lineage to the original, when they did their the Mando, there was that whole Novels versus EFX. They both had variations that were correct and incorrect. They both made mistakes. I wasn't crazy about the EFX one. I owned them both at one point, and then EFX did the same with the Mando helmet as they did with the Vaders, where they made a PCR version, which was basically
Gosh,
just a
that's
dumbed down version. But yeah, I mean, seeing this as a licensed Lineage piece, I think is great for Mando collectors and anybody who's an Armorer fan. But otherwise, yeah, they got to step their game up, because we
Yeah,
can't even. I mean, we can't even like go over the details on this and say this is what I like, this is what I don't like, because this just isn't even a good representation of what the helmet that you'll receive is going to look like.
Some of the first thing I noticed was, why are the horns dark?
That's accurate.
Not according to
Like I
this
said,
picture I'm looking at.
It's maybe they pull from season 1, but that is accurate.
You can't, dude.
My
You
helmet
can't.
doesn't have them.
You can't.
Steve, I promise you.
But
guys,
I'm just saying, I went looking today, and it doesn't look right to me.
Because you can't base this off of a shitty iPhone, picture like this. I mean, come on. The lighting's freaking horrible in this picture.
Do Do you have any reference photos with dark? Because every reference photo I'm looking at is the same color as the helmet.
No, the original helmet, the horns are dark. It's accurate.
I appreciate you saying.
I don't have any images, but
because I went. Well, I disagree. I mean, I went looking for reference today. Oh, I do find.
I'm 100. Steve, I'm 150% confident.
This is
50% higher than 100.
Dude, this is a screenshot, and it's not dark.
The lighting in that screenshot is very dark.
The helmet, the picture may skew the color a little bit. It may make it look darker, but they're not the same color as the helmet. Like on the screen use on the production, they're not exactly the same color as the helmet. They are technically darker.
All right. It looks completely wrong to me. I think that the paint is atrociously shit compared to what we see anywhere else on screen. This is bad paint. I mean,
it's hard to say. There's so much shit all over it. Like it's like bubbly brown and
Steve.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it is accurate. I don't know.
Steve,
it's hard to tell.
I'm not being a smartass. Know what to bring up? Bring up a Hot Toys picture. Bring up a picture of Hot Toys. Hot Toys usually, despite it being 6 scale, usually gets things spot on. Yeah, see if we can get a picture of her, like, not on the box.
Oh, not on the box. Okay.
Yeah, is the one with, like, a white background?
But these are darker here for sure.
Yeah, if we can bring maybe just a margin. Like the one where she's crossing the two hammers. Pull that one up.
Here. Yeah, these are definitely darker.
Yeah. That's how it should be.
But I'm telling you, the screenshot I showed you a minute ago, that is not the picture. That is the same. Maybe there's both out there. Maybe there was some
also could be a stunt or just a different production.
You cannot convince me at all that this is a darker color paint than the helmet. This is the same color paint. Here, I agree with you. It's clearly darker. Clearly, here
you got to remember, Steve, too. It is metal, so when you blast a light at it, you know it is going to have some of that shining through. You know what I mean? It's going to do a little bit of something, especially on camera.
Yeah, but there's not even a hint. There's not even a hint that it's darker, Matt. There's not even a hint.
Lie to you, Steve.
What's that?
I said I wouldn't lie to you.
Well, one of the things I'll point out is that the hyperdrive one done by Rupert, they did the same color.
Well, that's inaccurate then.
Well, not according to this picture. I fully disagree with you. I mean, I think it's possible that both exist. Most of the reference photos, I just saw one a minute ago that was dark. Most of the reference photos look like this, and you can't tell me that, okay, in every one of those photos, it was the lighting that made it look different. I can understand that in one photo or a couple photos, but these photos, man, they're all got the match.
Do you have a picture of that hyperdrive armor helmet?
I put a message in the private chat if it helps.
I think maybe this isn't the best screenshot.
Are you laughing?
No, I'm not laughing at. I'm not laughing at CC. I'm laughing at your message, Jason.
No, that's what I mean. No, I'm being serious. I just didn't want to say it out loud.
Yeah. No, this is a high res. This is a high res photo, guys. This is a high res photo of it.
I understand that, Steve. What I'm saying is that I don't know if it matters, because I'm telling you that even light shining off of something that's darker, that's still that same, like, you know what I'm saying? It's still going to give you something.
Why
like
can't?
That.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'm going to let it drop.
Do you not believe me? Even my message?
Why not both? Hey, Steve.
That's what I'm. That's what I'm claiming right now.
Steve's saying that there. It's very possible she might have worn another helmet, right? Like have a different one on set.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not impossible. Sure.
No, it's that 100%. Yeah.
So you're telling me that the hyperdrive got found an alternate helmet to replicate?
No, just
No, I'm
using
thinking
screenshots.
they found a different photo or they interpreted it wrong.
Oh,
Yeah, just a different lighting and reference
If,
interpretation.
if Jason's right, they interpreted it wrong, and if
understandable.
which is very possible, or there's photos with both. There have been more than one helmet, which I think is true.
Do they have any more pictures on the actual sideshow page of that helmet, or just the one?
Oh,
If you go down further,
yeah. Hold on, let me pull it up.
I was trying to find additional images today, and they all just have that one photograph. EFX, the EFX website has a few more photographs, but again, they look like they have that distortion.
really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that looks so bad. Look,
It
go.
looks so thin.
Oh my gosh, dude! It looks like a freaking medieval like.
They look
That's what I
quite
was
dark.
thinking. It looks like a Spartan helmet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna go LARPing with this thing on. Come on, man, that's freaking ridiculous.
But look, it's another addition to, for licensed collectors who want Lineage. It's
Does
another.
this photo look like it's been like shrunk horizontally? Like
It could.
It looks weird. It looks
It is
distorted.
possible. It's possible.
I was thinking that for the last one. It looks very narrow.
It looks like they cropped it they cropped it from its background.
because that looks a little wider, doesn't it? Right there.
It does a lot wider.
From the
Yeah.
they just shrank the front version. You can see it from the back.
She's thick from the back, huh?
She's like, hey, they're like, hey, just look at the back of it. That's what you're getting.
Just hit it from the back, guys. Just hit it from the back.
Jeepers, guys, that's freaking ridiculous.
What?
Look at the one with the apple. Look at the picture with the apple.
The best thing we should make a meme.
So
We should make a
bad.
meme of the other one and put why the long face.
Oh, it's so bad. The apple looks good. The apple looks fine.
It's like a bad extra in the movie 300.
Yeah,
You know what, Steve?
They shrunk it down.
They kick this down well.
It's a stun helmet from 300.
Steve, if they did horizontally squeeze that, then somebody took that image and made this image with the normal apple.
Yes, they dropped the apple afterwards.
The best
Yeah.
part though is the apple was superimposed into the image.
I know it is, yeah. The whole thing's freaking what a shit show.
That's true. Well, I would say probably in most cases when they take the apple photo, when they make the apple photo, they don't have it in hand.
Here's the problem though, Steve. How do we know the apple's accurate? Is it a Granny Smith? Is it how do we know?
You know what the
written
problem
in-
is?
What's the
I've seen
lineage
the apple. Jason, I've seen the apple.
In
So
person.
I know exactly.
Like a smart ass. You're a dick. You're a dick. Oh shit. Oh, B-roll.
Touche, huh?
Touche, motherfucker. I love it.
All right. So
All
is
right,
that
it's
it?
almost midnight. It's getting live.
EFX debacles. So
Mhm.
two strikeouts and one home run
One
I
home
think.
run for sure.
with EFX.
Not great.
No. Do better.
Not great.
All right. So moving on to statues.
Did you
First
just
up-
Wikipedia statues so you could say that, or?
Just so I could have a divider. I knew.
Oh,
I knew when
okay.
I
I was gonna say that's interesting. All right. Mace.
So first up is Mace Windu. Finally, somebody is giving
Mhm.
Mace his due.
Do you like this stance?
No,
I don't like the stance on this one.
no.
Just
There's a
too bad.
stance that they could have done that would have been a lot better. And right after he beheads Jango, his arms are out to his sides,
Yeah,
and he's looking up at Dooku like, "Come on, what else you got?"
but then it
And-
wouldn't fit in your Besta or whatever
That would have been fine.
Please.
It would have fit in the
Yeah.
bellies.
in the billies.
It
That's
was-
right.
I've got plenty of width in my belly.
Okay, all right.
It's the depth that doesn't work.
He's
I
got a
thought the
little bit.
length was good though.
He's got a
What's
little
that?
lazy eye. He's got a little bit of a lazy eye, but I mean, other than that, I think the stance is
Go back, Steve.
just not my favorite. But the base is cool. I like the base.
No, go back one more.
It's kind of
There's one more.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that. Hey, you guys.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
A little bit. Baby Ruth.
A little bit.
I did a video of it and it looks better.
Yeah,
It could definitely be the image, but dude, the base. I think the base is cool.
No, all
Like
jokes
the
aside,
helmet's
yeah,
in there.
the base is badass. I like that it's got the Django head. And,
Is
It
his
looks
eye-
like they got the skin color right, though.
Is his eye like that?
Yeah, Michael was
actually,
really
it's
worried
pretty good.
about that too. Michael was concerned. That was the reason what was holding Michael back for all this time.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've heard from Thor or somebody that getting that skin color right is difficult.
Yeah.
It looks. The skin color looks great. The wonky eyes. Does he have a wonky eye like?
I
that
don't
in
think
real
his
life?
face
No.
is terrible. Like he's
Well-
not Forrest Whitaker, but I don't think he has a very symmetrical face in the first place.
The problem
Dude, I
is
gotta
the
say, though,
light
the
is
purple-
shining
the-
in this eye. The light's shining in this eye, and the other one's in
So
the
that
shadow.
Yeah, that could be emphasizing some of the detail, but I like that. I like the saber glowing off his face like that. See, he looks.
Yeah,
Look at
good.
that. That's Samuel L. Jackson right there. That's bang on right there.
I
That looks
just
so
like
much
the
better.
look of this.
Are you gonna
That
get
was
this, Nathan?
You're
No.
buying it.
No.
No.
No. Do you like Nathan? Do you like the stance that he's in? Like the
Yeah,
actual pose?
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah. I'm liking that. Like, I know you hate the battle droid base.
I actually
Based
don't
on
mind
that.
it. I think the
But-
helmet's really cool too.
Uh,
You know
I
what?
the helmet.
like it
You
with
know why I
Jack's
don't like
helmet,
it?
It's cool.
appropriate.
I like it because he's not trying to stand on it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it's Geonosis. This was all over the place in the Geonosis battle, except they
The
got
helmet
the
looks
color
killer.
wrong. They got
Yeah, I
the
was
color
going to say,
wrong.
there's not the Geonosis droids. It's the
Yeah,
it
somebody
be
said
red.
somebody said that they spoke to Michael about it already. So
I
think it's
love
so
that
bad.
helmet though. The helmet looks sick.
I know this is a stupid nitpick, but the helmet wouldn't lay like that.
if there's a head in it, I don't think so.
Yeah,
If,
there's a head in it.
if there's anything, it won't lay like that.
okay, that's
Okay.
fair.
It's a dumb nitpick, but
Yeah, maybe I don't know. What would just because it would lay with the
yeah, it would like tilt down, like the
I
opening.
think the
would go
visor
down.
With
would
like
be
the
far
weight. Yeah.
down more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the center
Is,
of gravity.
Can
Yeah,
you see inside the helmet at all? Or?
That's a good
There was
question.
one photo where you could. Maybe
Is
this
it
is-
got
blood
like
and
the
guts.
the nubbin of his
no,
neck?
it's very very clean. Yeah, I don't see it here. Maybe it was
I like
the
the
video.
base. I like the
They
base.
had
It's
that.
cool.
hmm
Very simple base.
Wait, I think I have a link to the video. Hold on a second. NYC video. Lots of dust. There it is.
Lots of snakes.
So you
Oh
see how
man, yeah.
That's cool.
All three of them did look great together. I know it's not terribly accurate, but
He's a thin
That was
bastard,
awful.
isn't he?
they look great.
I like him without the robe.
Yeah, it fits better with the scene.
Yeah, you're right.
The purple is killer though.
So this did not sell well.
No.
It took 2 days to sell out, which by his standards is a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
And he limited it at 70.
Oh, okay.
That's interesting.
I think personally, I think it's because compared to his other statues, this is a fairly subdued, simple statue. Whereas lately he's been creating these masterpiece bases and all that, right? So I suspect that's why.
I bet you the stance has something to do with it too. I mean, it's not to me, that's the thing that really doesn't kind of, doesn't work
Yeah.
for me.
What I
But-
would like to see, let's see, Mace, Windu, Just Guild, Django.
I'm surprised because I thought it would be more popular given we know it's not going to get made by anyone else but that's most of his statues anyway.
So
He should
could've
be
done this
like
pose.
as he's just cut Django's head off with his arms like out like that.
Yeah. So it could have been this, right? Where he's got his arms out. Or even better is this one too. Could have done this one. Where he's moving forward, right? But we didn't get that. But it's not horrible. It's I just don't understand the choice of the pose. But I'm happy with it, and I am getting it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Hopefully that's the last statue I have to order this year.
Doubtful.
I feel like every time a statue goes out, one comes back in, Steve.
That's would be an accurate description, yes.
You're always like, I'm cutting down on statues, but I ordered this statue.
That's the problem I have. Yes.
He knows he's got a problem. That's the first
I can
step.
quit any time that I want.
That's the first step.
So anyway, then there is just a quick update. Cece, you should be excited, right? You ordered this, right?
CC.
Yes. Yep. Very excited.
CC.
I'm still excited to get it. I like the statue. It's the
It's
show
great.
was fucking dog shit, but like,
No, it's great.
and
It's a
I
badass
think I
statue.
saved almost $100 on shipping because I'm not getting the base.
Oh,
I'm
that's
just
right.
there.
That's right.
Yep.
Which is still fantastic because that base is massive.
It's funny.
Like,
Oh,
Yeah, I don't think the 2-part base on that was super necessary. I think I'm getting 2 boxes instead of 3. So I think that
Right.
smallest one I'm probably not getting. But I have Enfys Nest right where he's supposed to go, and in my mind I'm just like, get out of a seat, like you're in the wrong spot. So like
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to moving her so I could put him there.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, very happy with it.
Very cool.
all right. And I think is this the last? Okay. Yeah. So that's it for the helmets. Now,
These display
moving on
cases.
to this. So this is the company related to
Oh,
work.
got canceled? I didn't know.
Didn't make it.
It didn't make
I
it.
know,
These
dude.
are
I
actually
like
looked
it.
really
Really?
good. These
They
looked
didn't
good.
make them.
They weren't cheap.
No.
They weren't cheap.
Yeah.
How much do they need to get to?
If
They
you
got
scroll down,
75,000. They made
I
almost
think it's
54.
53.
They were more than halfway there, though. That says something.
So if you
Let's
look
get
on the
to it.
bottom here, I didn't realize how many different shapes and sizes that they were going for. They go for
I
quite a
didn't-
bit. I mean, there's some even as big as 4 feet wide.
I like these. There needs to
I
be
didn't think
something
the prices
premium
were
in
that
some of
bad,
them.
honestly.
No, they weren't. I
The
agree.
discounted prices are good.
The discounted
regular
prices are great. Yeah.
are like, whoa.
Yeah, but the features, I mean, I still think they're priced right.
Let me say this. I check on Merlin every time I do a show, and I'm also in their Discord. I had no idea that this GoFundMe was going on. So
Well, it's sort of like a separate.
to Colin's point, the marketing was bad because I didn't know what was going on.
Who is making this?
This is called
Merlin models.
Pendragon Collection, but it's related to Merlin models.
Yeah. See, I didn't know that. Nobody know that. Nobody knew that shit.
They're really focused on the Discord channel, and like I'm not involved in that at all.
I really
occasionally-
don't like Discord.
No,
Yeah.
I don't like it at all.
But help me understand this. See, this is what I don't understand. Like, if you're putting on something like this and Merlin model, like Jason, you know the guys at Merlin models.
Yeah.
Why isn't it that we
I
aren't
think
doing
they're
it
trying to.
and talking about this shit?
I think they initially were trying to do it as a separate business. I don't think
Yeah,
it was
totally
technically
separate.
Merlin models. Yeah, and that was definitely intentional. But you're right. Had they tied it in more,
They should have.
Yeah, had they tied it in more, and we maybe like us talking about it and kind of
Anybody, like, get everyone to talk about it.
I think it probably because it got more than half on the low. Like a lot of people who didn't even know that it was out there and just saw a couple Facebook posts. So if it got 60% there, that says something. It
They
says
should
there's a
redo it.
demand.
They should
I think they
revamp it.
should do it. Yeah, I think they should redo it and just remarket it and let it go again. Or maybe even just lower the goal a little bit to like 60, so at least kicks it, and then just pull more orders in.
Well, yeah, market it better, and you're sold, right? You're good. I just think because I think there's a need for this. I think there is
There's such a need for this.
plenty of people that want this. They just don't know about it.
I would really like to know what numbers they got in terms of Iconic versus the Archive. Because if you remember when the Iconic was out, I think most of us, oh, that looks great. And then the Archive came out, and it really kind of made it really chunky and unnecessarily complex. So I'm really kind of curious, the people who did pledge, what preference they showed.
What's because it'd be interesting to see if they did something like this, how long it took to sort of come out, because what's the name? What's the other company that do display?
Moducase.
Moducase, yeah. It takes like 2 years for them to come out, doesn't it?
It's a while. It's hit or miss.
The lead time
Not quite 2
can't
years, but a while.
be long, yeah, for those.
So if this was to make it, then
the thing with the Moducase is, Nathan, they look really good and they display well, right? I mean, Matt got them right behind them. They look good,
great.
but they're straight to the point, simplistic and streamlined. They're not meant to really be archival standard. You don't want sun glaring in on your collectibles. There's a few things that can definitely be redone, but it doesn't make sense in Moducase to add the different options, put museum, acrylic, put different levels of lighting. It is what it is. You're getting what you're getting, and it does the job. But for a collector like myself, who goes out and pays extra money for custom cases, this is perfect.
You're saying I don't do that?
No, I'm just saying you don't take the individual pieces. You don't need to.
Jason's like the thing that's sitting behind Matt is not what I would buy.
No, not at all. It does look banging. I would tell you to look like shit. It looks awesome.
Yeah,
I love your display.
I really like Moducase. The problem that everyone has with Moducase is that you order something and you're like, by the time you get it, you're not collecting anymore.
Or you're collecting shit. What you're displaying is changed.
Or like you
sold all your hot toys. And,
I bought 6 scale freaking Moducases, and by the time I got it, I was like, well, I guess I'll put helmets in it. Like, I don't know what else to do, right? Like, that's the problem. You change completely what you're collecting by the time you get it. So, like, I think there's a need for something like this, especially at the quality level and lighting and, all the nice lighting, adjustable lighting, all that stuff. Like, it's really valuable. It's just no one knew about this thing, man. Like,
I think if more people know, you're right. I think this would make it.
I'm nervous now because there is not the one you have, Matt, but there's like a smaller one. It's almost like if it was a pedestal but shorter. I just want that. But now I'm like, oh crap, I should probably order it if I'm expecting it in like a year.
Moducase?
Yeah, I wonder if like the lead times even for something like one of the smaller ones would be.
It's gotten better, I think. I think it has gotten better, but I'm not sure how much better.
And I think you can order some of them through like Sideshow, and they actually have them in stock.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Not all. Yeah. Just they're
like
most of the sizes.
They have gotten better. So I mean, I don't know. I just think this is super valuable. Like, it's too bad that this thing didn't happen.
Who was it? Legacy cases?
Yeah, that was just too. That was just too much, though. There was too much going on with that thing.
There was too much going on with that, and it wasn't quite there. I feel like.
And the guy took a picture of himself standing on top of it. It's just weird. It was just a weird situation.
I know.
Didn't he come on the show?
He did, yeah. He came on the show and talked about it. It was a really good.
It was a good idea.
The stuff he was putting together was really high quality and really good. It just the way I think the way that it was marketed, the way it was put out there, it just didn't.
At one point, I was costing out displays using his displays from my room, and the cost to replace my displays is going to be 15 grand. And I was just like, okay, that's not going to work. I'm not going to put 15 grand into displays. They were just too expensive. And so it was a similar thing, you know. And now he did a lot of marketing.
He was like, I'm not going to cancel all my statues to buy this display case.
Yeah. He did a lot of marketing, and he really hyped it up. And whereas I think everybody knew what was going on at the time, whereas this one that we heard about.
And these are good because you can get 1 or you can get 10. It doesn't matter. You can just, you know, someone like who already has module cases or details. If you have a specific, a standout piece, you can just get 1. You know, that's the great part about these.
All right. Next up, going into Hot Toys now. First up is...
I'm a sucker for this. I like it.
This is cool.
Jedi Survivor Scout.
Listen, are you going to get another Hot Toy? Come on,
No,
man.
but I like it, man. I don't know why.
Don't do that. Don't do that. It's another Hot Toy you're going to have to sell at some point. Come on, man.
I know, but this is cool looking, dude. Look at
It's
that.
beautiful. It looks awesome.
I don't get why it's coming out in 2025. They already have 2 troopers
Oh,
made
really?
and sitting in the warehouse. Yeah, December 2024.
Jason, that is not that cool.
I like it.
No.
I got the Black Series figure of it, too.
I think it looks cool.
They have most of these accessories already pre-made.
Way too gimmicky.
Trooper. No,
I think it is.
In the video game, dude.
But yeah, exactly. It's from
I
the
got the
game.
Black Series figure. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I just remembered. Good.
No, I was just saying the thing. I'm excited because that means they're more than likely going to do a Cal Kestis.
Yeah, which would be cool. That's cool.
Which would be cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Some of those Purge troopers, that would be cool.
Oh yeah.
I just remembered I have a clone trooper Jesse coming to me next week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it the other day. It's good.
I got the pilot coming in. The pilot's coming in. The one with the 2 heads.
I have to agree. I think this looks pretty cool. It's a shame that it's going to come out so far out, given the video game is coming out.
This should be ready to go. They have the same trooper pauldrons.
It's a bunch of accessories. What's the freaking problem?
Yeah, exactly. It literally is the Scout Trooper with, like you said, Jay. Like, it's
you want to know some, guys? You want to know some right now? That that helmet looks better than the EFX one.
It does.
I mean, that's a 1/6 scale.
The time frame is the same. We might as well get it 9 years from now.
1/6 scale, and it looks better than the freaking EFX helmet. That's crazy.
I mean, they already have the pauldrons. They already have the biker scouts. A couple accessories they can't bang out in under 2 years. That's absurd.
I think maybe they're just because, to be fair, some of the releases are coming out sooner than expected. So maybe they're just allowing.
I'm hoping it's just an overquote. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Chris, it's super gimmicky, but
Chris is right. Like the electric staff looks ridiculous. To me, it looks kind of ridiculous. But like everything else, like that.
And the
cool.
tubes, all the tubes going all over the place.
Sure,
Yeah,
but I mean that's
like repurposed.
But that's part of the game design. What are you going to do with that, right? Like,
which I was going to say that I'm with Moff because obviously I am not a gamer, so for me it's like this is a hard pass because I'm not familiar with the premise or why a Scout Trooper would look like this.
Yeah,
it's just an enemy that you can fight with a lightsaber that will. Yeah, so it's kind of.
The reason why he's get the pauldron, tell him, Nathan, it's because he's in the sand. He's like a sand trooper, but he's a biker sandy trooper.
Dude, it's the tubes are on. Go back to a camel pack, right? That he's got water he's drinking from.
You didn't see him on the ones that punch Grogu.
True.
All right, so that's the Scout Trooper Commander. Next up is the clone pilot.
Yeah, this is the one I got coming
in. Yeah.
Jeez, Jason.
I ordered it like 3 years ago. Come on. I like that.
You gotta stop, dude.
The other one was
I like
pre-order. These are clam shots.
That's a cool helmet.
Yeah,
that's why I got it.
I've got it on the way. It's on the way. Cool.
Yeah, if I was still collecting the clone, I would be all over this. I'd probably have to work too. Also,
yeah, I like that a lot.
Detonator in his hand? Hell yeah.
Farm Death Star is asking why there's no gamers here. I I'm a
I'm a
gamer.
gamer.
I love playing the Jedi.
I got
Fallen Order and
Fallen
all that
Order. It arrived today.
I love it.
That's nice. Let's do an unboxing.
No, please don't, Nathan. Don't. That's ridiculous. No, but that game's amazing. If anyone has not played that game, it is so good, and the next one's gonna be freaking incredible. So
It's meant to be.
it's really, really good.
Remember Force Unleashed? That game was.
It's
Yeah, that game was
amazing,
killer.
man.
That
But-
game was killer.
Jay, that it's essentially like it's the best single player Star Wars game since Force Unleashed.
It's so good. It's
I'll
so
have to
good.
pick it up.
Yeah, it's good.
Do you have a PS5, right, Jason?
Yeah, I don't play games though.
I know, but that's come on, dude. You got to.
I'm not
Next
good at
up-
it.
I know you're not good at it, but like, just try it.
I have a hard time.
I
So
know.
how about this?
I'm a sucker for this too. Come on,
It
guys.
looks
Come
cool.
on, really? This
This
is awesome.
honestly, this is the one where Jason, I remember talking to you about this, where I was like, this would actually be kind of cool to set this thing next to Salacious.
Yeah, dude, this is awesome.
Like, it could work.
I
I even
just
like
saw
the base. I
No,
even
it's-
like the base
No.
Part of me wants to buy it just for Salacious.
for Salacious. Yeah. Instead of that one that came with Sideshow, you can't even touch him. His ears
It's
fall off,
diecast,
his
right?
face
It's
falls off.
diecast.
No, the Tamashi's. I got the Tamashi one. That thing.
I thought this was diecast. This says diecast down there.
Oh, it is. It's diecast.
Yeah, it's diecast.
Diecast. Holy shit. Diecast?
Is it
Yes.
really?
Yes.
I
No
didn't know.
way.
It says diecast at the
Yeah,
bottom.
it says that-
Oh,
Come on!
Everyone
Come
agrees.
on!
If this thing is
Oh.
diecast,
Matt,
Steve.
reading is hard.
then
It's crazy.
damn,
It's right down there.
damn. See, because the Tamashi Nations one is too clean. It's like
Oh, look at that ass.
bright gold.
Is it said there's no like specifications because some of the like I think it was like K2SO like his legs were diecast but the rest of him was plastic.
I think this whole piece would be diecast.
I think
except
the whole thing's diecast.
See, the
I think
other thing I
the thing that people didn't like so much were the tubes, but I don't know why. I don't know. I'm not a tube.
Because
I'm
if
not
you
a
look at the
C3PO tube expert.
if you look at the tubes on the Sideshow, they're just plastic and they're molded. If you look at the tubes on the Tamashi Nations, they're real. They're real little tubes and wires. And as you bend and move his body, they bend and move as well. And he actually has that like S shape to him, like that curve where his back
Well,
arcs.
this one does too.
Yeah, and that's what I think. But the tubes here are too like there's too much going on.
Yeah, Moff's right. The Tamashi one is so heavy. It's
Oh yeah,
crazy.
it's like 4 pounds. When
I
it
had
falls
that
on
at
the
one
shelf,
point, and
like, whoa.
it's so heavy, dude. It's
So,
crazy.
is anybody bothered that this is the Attack of the Clones R2D2 in the 40th Return of the Jedi picture?
Nah,
Whatever.
I'm just looking at 3PO.
I am.
Dude, see, R2D2 is R2D2, bro. Like,
He's- no, this is the
Come
Attack
on.
of the one.
come on.
As long as he hasn't got his like jetpacks or his thrusters.
Might
Yeah,
as well.
That's,
All
that's
these
completely
freaking
accurate, Steve. I can
What
assure
makes
you.
it the Attack of the Clones? Just say he's dirty.
Yeah, he's got the
All the attachments.
noticed,
He flies and spits oil. That's how he is.
No.
He's got the jets on the
Got
side.
the jets.
Oh,
yeah,
the Jets. Okay, I didn't see that before.
Yeah.
Look at the Swiss Army knife. Oh, the Swiss Army
it
knife
is a bit
gift.
much.
It's so right, though.
I guess all the R2 units have those jetpacks now.
Yeah, like
It's so
it's a
true.
jet-
It's so true. He's like,
but I like that it's a moving picture too.
I got
It's
this,
not
I got
just-
this, I got this, I got this, I got this, I got this. Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm happy with my. I got Force Awakens R2 that has nothing coming out of it.
Hmm.
I get the Tamashi Nations R2 as well as the 3PO. It's funny too because they're supposedly like so hard to get and so expensive, but then when they both came out, they were like super. The R2 wasn't even that long ago, like 2-3 years ago. They were on
This
Amazon
R2
for
is
like a
plastic
$1.
though, right?
Metal dome, I think, right? I don't know. Plastic with metal dome? Is that wrong?
I thought the Attack of the Clones one was plastic.
It might
Yeah,
be.
'cause-
I have no idea.
There you go, Steve. Steve-isms.
Steve-isms.
Yeah,
On
The,
Sideshow's website for the C3PO, it just says it has die-cast materials.
Hmm.
It doesn't specify.
I mean, it could be like Nathan, like you said, the K2SO was like that, right? Where it's the
The-
legs were
with-
die cast to hold it up.
Yeah.
But it could be, I don't know. Or maybe the joints are die cast or something. Who knows?
Going diecast, that's a huge improvement. If
Yeah.
if most of it, that's such a big improvement.
Yeah.
Finally,
Would you be tempted if it was all diecast, Steve?
yeah. I one of the 5 remaining hot toys I have is C3PO, and I've been debating selling it. But now that I see that, I'm tempted to buy this. But I'm tempted, but not by much. So probably not.
I'm tempted too, but then I know I'll just put it next to the Salacious and be like, all right, well, that's that, and
Yeah.
whatever.
All right.
And
Next
I
up
wanna pay for that.
is the Episode 6 Darth Vader.
This is a yes as
This
well.
is
That's a buy.
this is the regular.
Nice.
Wow, that looks like they're just reusing the stand from 3PO, painted a different color.
It does kind of. Well, he's got himself a pair of stairs there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Well, the stairs are. There's a nitpick about the stairs. It's a bit like the Empire base. It's just not to scale. Obviously,
Oh.
if it was, they would be massive, but it does look a bit odd.
Yeah, it looks like he's going up to his porch,
It'd be cool if it,
basically.
it'd be cool if those stairs connected to the Empire base that is already out.
Yeah.
Damn, that looks good though.
Matt, did you see the picture somebody photoshopped with the Paul Rudd Ant-Man teeth on the face? Oh my god, so good. That's so good. They put this one, but they put the Paul Rudd mouth on it.
Gosh, that's freaking amazing.
It looks ridiculous.
It's got that
That's-
sexy box there, Chris.
I know, that's sexy.
That is cool.
Do you have the deluxe? Are you showing the deluxe as well, Steve?
That's next.
Oh,
Here's the
okay, I
door.
was just gonna say.
Wow.
Whoa.
Look at that. Nice electric situation going on there.
It
What a
blinks
nice-
too, I think.
what a
I think
great
it blinks
addition.
when it's turned on.
So deluxe.
That's pretty cool.
Wow.
But would it be able to hold the Emperor up? That's the thing.
Hmm. Would anyone display it with the electric Vader helmet?
Hmm.
Like,
think
I
so.
get wanting it as a deluxe to have it. But like, would you display it that way, or?
No, I think the only way you would is if you display him holding the Emperor.
Yeah,
Oh.
above your head.
Yeah.
And the Emperor would, yeah, that would look ridiculous.
Yeah.
Props to the idea though to do that, even
Well,
if
you
it
have to-
doesn't not executed well.
Is it a battery thing or is it a plug-in?
It's gonna
You
be
know?
a battery, probably.
Be interesting to see. I keep thinking, because like the sabers have got all the new sabers have got the all the LED
Everyone.
ones now.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, they're not battery operated, which could be good, but I'm just wondering. Keep seeing them, but we haven't actually seen one in person yet. Yeah.
So that wraps up the Hot Toys.
Hmm.
So moving on, I asked CC to talk a little bit about some prints this week. Give us a little preview of what's going on with prints. So CC, I've got the links that you asked me to pull up and set up. Why don't you take it away?
Yeah, because this poster hasn't been popular at all. I don't think enough people are talking about it. So
Right.
that's why I want to feature it. Yeah, so this is obviously the Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary poster by Matt Ferguson, and the screen print that matches this pretty closely. The only difference is it's not going to have the credit block or the returns to theaters at the bottom.
Mhm.
Is going up with Bottleneck Gallery on May the 4th. They did just put out that, which I appreciate that they did this. I'm not surprised at all. if you bought the Empire Strikes Back 40th anniversary screen print from them 3 years ago, again, direct through them, then you're in their system. You'll be getting a pre-order link via email on the 3rd. So like a day earlier than everyone else. The regular, so the color version, this one, and then they'll have another version with the Japanese title as opposed to English. Those ones are going to be timed. They're basically mirroring the release of the Empire Strikes Back poster from 3 years ago. So I think then it was available for like 4 days, 3 or 4 days. So you'll definitely have time if you're getting any of the color versions.
I'm a purist on this one. I'm a color version on this one.
Well, and I was really torn. I was going back and forth for quite a while as to if I want to basically get the same thing I have for Empire Strikes Back or restrain myself. I don't think I could restrain myself. Sorry. Plus, I think too that with this being released during Celebration, I'm always going to have memories tied to Celebration regarding this poster. So I don't remember the next link I showed you or had you pull up, but
I'm going Japanese. I think I'm going Japanese. I really think so because
I was waiting for that.
It's the best. Like I have that. I think I have that for the ESB one. Oh, it's so good.
Both of mine are in the Japanese font as well. This is an idea of what it's going to look like in the black and white version. I call it black and white with pops of color. So this is the variant. Right. This is the one that's going to be limited. That being said, if they mirror the Empire Strikes Back release, then it's those edition sizes. I think it was $475 for each version. The one with the English title and then the one with the Japanese title. Again with the black and white and pops of color. I know Chris has this version too. I have it for the ESB, so I'll probably get the color in Japanese and the black and white in the Japanese font. Also, it'll have the neon and the metallic ink. The metallic ink is very subtle though, but you could see it when you look close to it. And then the next link. Yep, so this is just a refresher on what they did regarding the Empire Strikes Back release. Mm-hmm. So this was the regular version with the English titles. Again, this was timed. It was available for a few days. I think it was like it went up on a Wednesday or Thursday and it was up until Sunday. Yeah. And then if you keep scrolling down, this is the Japanese version. So this is the one I have. Again, both of the color ones were timed. So if you have your heart set on either, I'm sorry.
It's kind of neat that they sold the set, so you didn't have to like add one to the cart, go find the other one, add it to the cart if you were in a hurry or anything like that. It's nice that they did a set.
And there's no rush on these either because, like I said, they're timed. So
they're timed. Okay. Normally,
so
like if you're trying to buy a timed one, like not a timed one, but like a limited edition, you just got to buy one. You can't get greedy and try to buy two because they'll be sold out. So this is kind of nice. Yeah.
And so this is that, like I said, the black and white with pops of color. And I don't mean to confuse people. They're not gonna like produce the Empire Strikes Back ones. I'm just showing these to give you an idea because we haven't seen like full reveals of the Return of the Jedi versions. But yes, these are limited to $475. So if anyone wants the black and white ones, I would say those are the ones you need to pay attention to. So that's when it's like check your inbox for the email the day before on the 3rd.
Did they do New Hope or that was before?
So he did a New Hope poster, but it was not for the 40th anniversary. It'll likely end up being, I'm thinking maybe the 50th. So 2027. Is that right? The math checks out. The concept is done. It just needs to be approved. So it's definitely happening, assuming like all the cards fall.
Apparently he likes it the best. He likes it the best out of all of them, doesn't he? Isn't that his favorite?
As far as the posters go. Yeah.
Okay, and then there's
talking about Matthew Ferguson is who we're talking about.
So this is the quad. They put out a quad version of the Empire Strikes Back just as an image. It was never produced. Like it in theaters. No one ever printed it. So this one, there's a lot of interest for the quad because it has a lot more detail than the regular, whereas the Empire Strikes Back quad, you just saw more of the meditation chamber that was surrounding the scene. This, you get like Ewok Village on the on the right, and you get more 8 chicken walkers and scout troopers on the left.
40
Also-
by 30. It's
Yeah,
so
40 by 30. So that's the reason why there's definitely a lot of interest in doing a quad version for this. But it is 30 by 40. I think it's just a logistical thing because I've been collecting from Bottleneck since 2015. I've never seen them put out a poster this large. So I think it's more of a logistical thing. Of course, it would still have to get approved for them to do it. And I know that the reason why the Empire Strikes Back didn't get approved was not because there was no interest for it. There was interest for it. I don't think there's, personally, on an anecdotal level, I don't think there's as much interest for the Empire Strikes Back as there was for this one. But it was a issue with the placement of the titles, I think, that didn't get approved. I forget what the exact issue was, but I just know that there was a disagreement regarding how it was going to look and how it was going to end up in the end.
You know what though is really nice about these is that all of these is that even if the regular versions are beautiful, like the timed versions, usually the timed versions are the ones that people are like, oh, all right, I'll go for the timed version. But like these time versions are fantastic. Like they're really, really, in my opinion, better than the black and the variants, in my opinion, but they're really good. And don't forget that Bottleneck also frames themselves. So like if you get it and you want it framed, they do a great job.
Yeah, because you're gonna do that because your other one is framed as well.
My other one's framed. Yeah.
I will say like they're pretty fair as far as most artists tend to pick what they think is the best version is the regular because it tends to be the one that's more widely available. So they don't want anyone obviously to miss out on this. I think the regulars in the Empire Strikes Back were edition sizes of like 2,000, I think. Okay. So yeah, just I hope they do the quad. I think that if they do it, it's definitely not going to be released next week. The other one that's going to be released, but just not anytime soon, and that's true of the Empire Strikes Back as well, is they're doing the lenticular versions. But with Empire Strikes Back, they did the screen prints first, and then a few months later, they did the lenticulars, and it sounds like they're going to be doing the same with these. So if you want the lenticular, I don't think that's going to be available next week either.
Okay. No. Should I move on to the sideshow print?
Yes. So I think this is a great option. Obviously available for pre-order now if you're interested. I think it pairs really well with the Rebel style premium format if you happen to get that. I like the style of this where it's a little more painterly as opposed to graphic. I love the colors. I'm not too familiar with the artist. I'll be honest with you. I meant to do some research before the show and time escaped me. But yeah, I think, and this is, so I will say the 16 by 24, I was telling a friend today who collects a lot of Tom Wayland, and I'm like, I love to get more smaller art prints that are along those lines, but I don't know why there's this sudden push for 16 by 24, but it could just be me checking my privilege because the only art print I got from Celebration, the exclusive, is 16 by 24 as well. So I think for this to have an even matte, I'd probably have to go with something like 20 by 28. And that's it's a different size. Like for me, if it's on 18 by 24 or 24 by 36, it's like, that's a little tricky to frame. But of course they have the, pretty sure they have the canvas, which is a different size. It looks like maybe a little bit.
17 by 25.
Yeah, that's still a weird size, even for a canvas, I feel. That
includes the frame, I would think.
Okay.
Like around the canvas, right? It
does. Yeah, it says black frame.
Yeah.
And then you could also get the paper version framed. I don't have anything pre-framed by Sideshow, but I've heard they do a fantastic job. I think that looks really good. Sometimes I think it looks a little gimmicky with the matting because they always do that.
The accent color on these CC makes these prints pop. I've owned 4 different that they've framed in the past, the accent color just it gives it such good class. Really does look good in person.
Nice. But yeah, I think I scrolled down and saw the Rebels premium format, and I thought that would be a perfect combination.
Which one is that?
Go up on the left.
Oh, you mean the statue? Okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah, that's a premium format, I think, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting version of her here. You know, artist's lifelike interpretation of her.
She looks like a Thundercat.
That's a good point. Good point.
I don't mean in a bad way. She just doesn't.
Certainly dynamic. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It almost reminds me of the art that accompanies the Mythos statues.
Yep. Right. All right. Well, Cece, is there any shows or anything like that coming up that you'd want to plug?
So regarding like the Matt Ferguson release that I'm obviously very excited about, I was debating if schedules allow us doing a quick rundown once we get full final images of what's going to be released on May the 4th, or if no one's available, I might just do like a pre-recorded video and see how that goes.
Okay. All right. So stay tuned to the Facebook Rogue 16 Facebook group and the Rogue 16 YouTube channel for future details on that.
And Jason and I were a little long-winded, but we did do a print show, I think it was last Tuesday, where I showed off a private commission art print I got that I'm very excited about, even though it put a damper on my wallet. But I know it's a 2-hour show, but if you feel like looking at that and taking a look, we went more in depth on as to the more recent art print releases.
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you. All right. So now we're going to move on to a different segment of the show. This is called the Let's Get Nathan to Spend Some Money segment. All right. So I hope you have your purse ready, Nathan.
Dude, why does that person have man hands?
She has man hands.
Dude, that's
What
weird.
are you trying to do, Steve? I'm proud of myself that I avoided you guys making me spend money in person at Celebration.
Well, look, you asked to be on this show. You took off. This is your fault. So you just get in what you asked for. All right.
I thought I'd be more awake.
All right. So this is from DMD. And it is he's doing a life-size bust of the Star Wars Rebels Vader. And I know, Nathan, you've got the room in your collection for a life-size bust.
I mean, it is quite sexy, but I don't know.
It's cool because it also comes with the helmet that's not cracked open, right?
Oh, it comes with both?
Yeah, it comes with both.
Feel about the base though?
It would go quite well. I've got an art print of that fight in Rebels. So
yeah, man. I mean, I can just see this in your the living room that you're in right now. I think it would work.
Yeah, my living room.
Wow, look at that, Nathan. Imagine that in your living room. Come on.
Yeah, the base is a little bit.
I don't really have room.
It's the temple from Rebels.
I understand that. I don't understand why.
Don't know.
Why is every single person that's making something out there trying to make this thing that the thing stands on the thing that you look at? Like, why is that? Why do when I look at this thing, why is my eye drawn to his belly button?
Yep.
Like his freaking stomach, where his stomach would be. Like, why? What's the point of that? I don't get it. Like, I want to see the bust. That's the part that you want people to look at, not the thing it's sitting on. Am I wrong?
Yeah, it takes away.
I think the red, if it was just like the other color, it would be all right. But the red sort of triangle in the middle really.
It's distracting.
It looks fine. It's
the
beautiful.
holocron cube. Is that what that's supposed to be? Holocron cube?
No, it's the temple.
The temple they fight
It's a
in.
temple that the Ahsoka
The
goes
Sith.
into, and they fight on top of.
Because doesn't the Sith have a triangle, like a pyramid?
Yeah, they have a Sith holocron. Yeah, but that's
Holocron,
not. Yeah, it's the actual temple that they go into. I really like the bust. I'm not a fan of the base.
I know. I just
like
think
the
if they need to keep things more simple. Like, why not simplify it?
Oh,
you know,
wait. That's
I
gotta
see
be the
it.
holocron.
It's a
Look at
holocron inside of it. Yeah, you're right. It's separated.
That is pretty freaking cool, though. I mean, when you look
It's
at
very
that.
well done.
It's very well done. I just think it's a little too complicated for the piece.
Yeah.
Like, you want to look at the bust. That's what you want to look at, right? Like, that's what it is. I just don't get the crazy bases. I don't get it.
That's pretty neat. I agree with that. But that is pretty neat. But it detracts.
And that's what I'm saying is, like, this is a killer piece, as it is. It's a killer piece. Like, you're doing more than you need to. like simplify what it's standing on, and you done. Like, you're donezo. You got it.
I don't think the base looks too bad on this one.
I don't see the point. That's what I'm saying.
You're right.
I don't see why.
Yeah,
why do
you
it?
don't have to go. You don't have to go the extra mile on a piece.
No, you don't.
That's nice. Yeah.
Nathan, how many haircuts is $1,500 US? I mean, how many?
Well, a lot. I've been doing. There's this.
He's got to start doing these.
It's a bit of a long
haircuts.
story, actually, but a lot of haircuts. Yeah.
But how many haircuts with happy endings?
Exactly. He's got to start really pushing the limits on this.
Maybe 5 or 6.
Oh, it's not bad.
Depends how good a job I do.
Get your hands dirty. Get your hands dirty. Get in there.
That's one afternoon, Nathan. Come on.
Well, yeah, that's what I've been doing today.
Dude, work the whole thing. Work the thumb. Work it all, and just get that money, bro. Just make that money, dude.
Well, it was on a sort of basically I've been doing like home haircuts because my shop's closed.
Oh, I bet you have. And
and this kid and his dad came over. And
careful now, careful, Nathan. This is not this type of show.
The kid was asking about my collection, so I showed him, and he was like, I turned the lights on and the and the lightsabers and stuff, and he was like, "Oh my god!" And he was like, "Dad, can you start cutting hair so you can get something like this?" I'm like, that's not how it.
He's like, "Son, that's not what we're doing here." And he's like, "Nathan, let's go in the back room."
Yeah.
Make you some extra collection money.
I was like, your dad paid for this.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Your mom paid for this.
Yeah, mom.
So I really think that this is.
Imagine if I said that.
Can you imagine?
Your collection.
Your mom
Nathan.
paid for this collection.
Say again, Steve?
I was just saying that this would look really good in Nathan's collection, right next to that print he was talking about. Honestly.
Well, I haven't even got room for the print, so I haven't got room for that.
Well, you just gotta sell some hot toys, man.
Oh, you got room.
I've been selling. I sold a hot toy yesterday. I found a big box of Funko Pops, and I've sold like a load of them.
My gosh! Well, that's half the money right there.
I know. Well, it's it's done all right. I actually got my hands on the elusive. I was going to buy the Matt Ferguson Jedi print, but someone offered me the poster from Celebration in a partial trade for a Funko Pop. So I took that instead.
Nice.
Which wasn't it was a pretty good deal.
Very good. All right. So next is another one of our favorite segments, the dumpster fire. Dumpster fire is just basically our General Giant segment.
So sad.
So we'll go ahead and get started there. Now, not all of these are bad, so we'll start off with the good. All right.
Okay.
So I think they're doing these What scale are these again?
1/7.
Well, it's 12 inches tall, so it's got to be like 6 scale. Yeah, it's either 1/7 or 1/6. I think this is 1/6 scale. Looks pretty good. These are shiny.
Sure. Hard to mess
And
up a
that's
stormtrooper.
why you would buy this rather than a hot toy, considering the price,
Yeah, true.
right? I mean, just go get a hot toy. Then after that is the Vader bust. This is from Kenobi.
Okay.
Something to me looks seriously off about him.
I don't think I like the posture either.
The hat, yeah, I was gonna say the hands are a bit
Like, what scene is that from?
That's the "I'm gonna get you, Kenobi" scene.
It's like he's like molding a fireball.
Yeah.
Street Fighter Vader.
I don't talk to you again. That's what it looks like.
I mean,
that-
whatever. Sure.
Can't swap
whatever.
out.
Man,
Swap out hand.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Swap
But
out
no
hand.
saber.
that's fancy.
Guys are stepping it up.
All right. Now it starts to get good.
Oh man.
Oh,
Oh,
Larry
no.
Skew.
Where'd
Larry
he-
Skew went there.
Show me where he touched you. Holy shit. My gosh, dude. Oh my
Dude,
gosh.
I wonder if like Mark Hamill takes a shot at these and like has a good time. He must look
Oh
at these and laugh, huh?
Goodness. This
Look
looks
at
like
that.
this looks like a freaking Black Series like figure. Like a
Dude, he's
freaking,
like, this armor is so uncomfortable, I can barely move.
Oh my gosh.
oh, good. You can cover the face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah,
can
it's
cover
it's
that.
just like he's in the room with you. It's so
Uncanny.
It is uncanny.
it's
isn't it?
uncanny. Exactly.
Aren't you a little disfigured for a stormtrooper?
Very good. Very good. And then the piece de resistance.
Oh no.
Pierre Cardassian.
I don't know who this is, but it isn't.
Dude, check out those slacks, huh?
Yeah.
He's a smooth operator.
Is his brother Landon?
Wow.
this is my younger brother Landon.
Come on.
Bad.
Come on. Look at that.
What
I
have we
mean,
here?
if it was like if it was like you know, like a Puerto Rican dude and they were making like some like other statue, I'd be like, yeah, it looks pretty good. Not bad.
It
but
looks like a young Giancarlo with a wig on.
yeah. I mean, it's just different.
That's
It's
a
so like it's not like the face isn't bad. It looks like a human face.
Oh yeah.
Like Count Dooku. That's what I'm
Got
saying.
two
Count
eyes, a nose, and a mouth.
But Count Dooku looked like a burn victim. Like that's the problem. It's like it was totally different, right? Like he at least looks like a human being. Like he looks like
Is
a
that-
Puerto Rican guy.
They-
Like which is
they
like
go through
whatever, cool.
quality
That's cool.
Control, and it's
Doesn't
like,
look like
well,
Lando.
He looks human. That's
Yeah,
that'll do. He
Yeah,
looks
both.
human.
The blasters look really good though.
little lady pocket in their hair.
Dude, look how smooth that cape is. It screams 70s all over.
Yep.
Are there dragons in there? What
The
is that?
statue is
I
perfect.
like the
Up
base.
to his neck. Up to his neck, it's perfect. And then it goes south.
I mean, if you step far enough away and squint your eyes, you'd be like, yeah, this is Lando. For sure.
Oh yeah.
His name is.
Good try.
There's a guy who works for Gentle Giant who I guess friended me on Facebook. I don't know why, but
Oh no.
the sculpts look amazing. Like he'll show renders and he'll show them before they're painted, and then they get painted, and it's like, what happened?
I'm telling you. The Oompa Loompas in the workshop are doing something freaking weird to this shit, is what's happening, because it ain't coming out the same.
Well, that is it for the material.
Steve, did you have I forget if it was Far
Oh.
from Desert who asked about May the 4th releases? The only thing I could think of was that saber I sent you.
Right. Let me go back to my notes. You did send me the updated link.
Yeah, it was on Twitter is where I found it.
Twitter. Oh boy. All right. This is a Cal Kestis saber in a nice wooden box.
Nice.
It doesn't look like a legacy saber, so it doesn't look like it has a. It
We
doesn't
can't
look
see your
thick.
screen.
Right? Oh, really? Do I have
Yeah.
to shut off?
We don't know what you're looking at.
Sorry about that, folks.
Oh.
It doesn't look like a typical legacy saber that's extra wide to accommodate batteries.
Is it a legacy saber? Yeah.
Does
See
look
what
cool.
says.
It just redirects to the Shop Disney website. It's not up yet because it's not made up.
Uh,
Oh,
Really?
look at that
That's-
jean jacket. Oh man.
It's their 90s collection, Matt.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is it's a pretty good looking saber from here. I have a worry that like when you see it up close, it's gonna be like all
Flat works?
plastic. You know.
Yeah.
Because it's a
Probably.
great design for a saber, I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
Can't
I
be
love-
really
I love his saber.
good on your hands. It's gotta be brutal on your hands.
I did appreciate that in the description they said that the wooden display box has authentic Arabic text. Thank you for pointing out that you used authentic text from a bullshit made up language.
Oh,
It's,
Yeah.
I
true.
think it's weird, but I would have worded that a little differently, but
Yeah, that would be my only concern, I guess, Steve, is that if the leather is like
yeah.
shitty plastic
I would bet
leather,
you
then-
it's not leather. My guess is it's completely it's
Yeah.
it's
Like
molded.
rubber or like
Yeah.
vinyl or something.
But these are still pretty popular, and I know the character is very popular too. So it wouldn't
He is,
surprise
yeah,
me
he
if
is.
these sell really fast, because I think that happened with the. They did like a duo of Kenobi and Vaders for the Kenobi series.
They do use metal though, don't they?
Yeah,
On these sabers, I mean that's cool. They're nice and heavy. A lot of some of these.
It depends because some of them are like I've got a few of them still, and some of them are still like pretty decent. But then some of them, you look at them, they're like super thick.
Mm,
It just
like
yeah.
dildo size.
Well,
Hey, these,
not that thick, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
For
Not-
the gamers in the group, for the game, the box sets or whatever that these come in, are they like valuable or worth anything?
The boxes.
aftermarket they
Box
tend
sets.
to appreciate. I think it's FOMO and stuff too.
No, the game.
Like-
I'm sorry, the game. Like the game that no, they have the box set of the game.
Oh
Oh,
Yeah. Is that of like any value?
no, I don't. I mean,
Because it comes with the saber and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's like the
Mhm.
collector's edition. They've got like it comes with a saber.
Yeah, the
It's-
box, the saber, the game certificate.
yeah.
So here they're talking about it supports a single blade. So now I'm starting to wonder, maybe it does work. Like
it is a legacy saber. It does
Oh,
it does you just have to buy the blade separately. They've done that for
Okay.
all these box sets.
all right. Nice. All righty.
killer.
All right, guys. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap this up?
Oh, you guys have a great time at Celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chris, you still with us, Chris?
I am. I'm just not feeling very good.
Okay. Sorry about that. Go, Nathan, Chris, either you guys want to talk about?
I was just a bit gutted. I didn't get to say goodbye to all you guys before.
Well, yeah. Well, you had you were there with your girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Nathan,
You
that's
enjoy it?
all Steve's been talking about. Is that you
Did
didn't
you enjoy
you didn't say goodbye to him?
I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah, he's
No,
like,
it was
"This
um.
son of a bitch."
Well, it was obviously I was there Monday, but yeah, just couldn't. Was hoping to bump into you guys before I left, but Well,
So-
actually, I did bump into you on Sunday, didn't I, Steve? And I sort of
just for a second, and that's right. I wanted you to stay and talk, and you took off. So
but
whose fault is that?
I had to grab some food, but I don't know why. I just thought, I'll see him again. But I should have, in hindsight, I should have just stuck around for 5 minutes.
I seriously had the best time of my entire life
Mm.
that weekend. It really was.
That's cool.
I didn't tell my wife, but I really did.
Damn. He's like, remember that time we got married? This was like way better than that.
Way better. The show wasn't that great, but hanging out till 4 or 5 a.m. the more that all the guys.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
cool.
That day we were in the bar, Steve, we were all laughing so hard we
man.
were crying.
Simmons is hysterical. You get some
He's
drinks
hysterical.
with him and
Yeah.
forget it.
Yeah, Steve, I want you to send me that picture where Rob saw John imitating him.
Yeah.
You have that picture. I want you to send it to me. I want that picture.
John Simmons did like a real atrocious imitation of Rob, and I took the photo and I gave it to Rob. So Rob held it up and was like, "What the fuck, man?" Pretty good.
Yeah, John does imitations of a lot of people, and it's funny as hell. And it was that night we were dying laughing. That was the night that Jason climbed up on the mailbox. We were about to ship his ass out. Hey, there's John. He's listening. Yeah.
I believe it.
But
I believe
no, I
it's
won't.
online, isn't it?
You had it up somewhere, and I was looking all over for it because I wanted to show it to John. And
Oh, I sent it to him.
oh, you did? Send it to me too, because that was funny as hell.
Like a minute after I took it, while we were waiting in line. Sorry, when I took the photo of Rob.
But me and Chris were like, oh, you showed him?
Yeah, we were kind of like, ah, shit.
Yeah, hell
should've
yeah.
showed him. But no, we weren't just.
Why
He wasn't
not?
just imitating. He wasn't just imitating Rob. He was like, he does voices actually very well for a lot of different people.
He did Rob good.
And
He did the very quiet,
he did.
he did it good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was funny.
But seriously, there wasn't. I mean, Parminder and Marvin and John, they would come over to our hotel room early morning and stay with us till 5 a.m. Just that's freaking hilarious.
Basically,
Yeah.
John is doing one of these things. I don't know. He's got his hands inverted or something. He's doing 4 eyes.
Yeah. So his glasses
Spitting
on.
image. Spitting.
I gave
image.
it to. I said, Rob, look really grumpy.
That's just a normal look.
But yeah, there like, we didn't really talk about Celebration, but seriously, there were two things about Celebration that impacted me emotionally. Like, I met two people that, I won't explain the whole thing, but two people specifically that I met out there that, I only talked to a little bit online, said to me, they love our show, and our show actually did a lot for them, and in a lot of different ways. And that hit me. Like, I didn't really think about that before. And this specific person who who I'm talking about, Steve, you talked to him as well. And it was just like, wow. It just impacted me in a way that I'll never forget.
I don't want to like
No.
you. I don't want to identify my name, but I do want to say, hey man,
He knows who he is.
Yeah, I really
Yeah.
enjoyed meeting you. It was great talking with you.
That was an important time. Like, just hearing him talk and just it meant a lot to me. And then another time, the time where we were all sitting just underneath the show and just sitting on a parking lot looking at a model. Like, those are two times will stick with me till the day I die. So
What was she wearing?
she had a really big ass, and she had really tight thong, and
Nice
and
model.
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
god, that one! Oh, dude,
yeah. No.
are you talking about the chick outside the hotel room?
Oh no, I didn't mention that
Chris?
yet. No.
Oh, we may need to say that for the
No,
after
we
show.
can say it. No, we can talk about it. I won't. It won't make it too bad. So we're going off. It's Jason and I, and we're walking off of the train. And we're going down the steps. Okay.
Oh my god!
And I see this
Oh
woman.
my god, I forgot about this.
She's standing.
Oh, I remember this.
She's standing facing us, right, and behind a sign, and the sign is like this high. Okay. And she's a larger woman, and she's a little bit older, and she was a little bit less classy, I will say. So I
English
get past,
girls.
yeah. So I start walking down the steps, and I clear the vision of the sign, and she's got a half shirt on, like here, okay, and she's got stuff hanging out below that require a bra. Like there was everything was hanging out, like this much of it was hanging them out.
Chris, do they have Walmart in England?
That was worse than
We were
Walmart.
trying
I
to
never saw that
discuss
at Walmart. Well, she had like
We're trying to
salami
figure out, like-
colors. You know what a salami looks like? A circle with a lot of
We
different
have
colors
we have
in.
Aldi and
Oh man, guys,
Tesco's.
no Tesco.
it was so bad.
Tesco's the mid range.
It was so bad.
Tesco's
Jason
like
didn't
our
see it.
target.
Jason
No.
didn't see it. I kept walking. I said, Jason, did you see that? He goes, no, what are you talking about? I grabbed him. We went back up the steps. I had to make him see that thing. And we just walked out. She's sitting there puffing a cigarette, and her all of her boobs were hanging out. It was quite nasty. And we wanted pictures, but we didn't get them.
And you went back for seconds.
Oh, I went back to show Jason.
Because misery loves company. You couldn't suffer alone.
If I was going to throw up my breakfast, so was he. Yeah.
You're full.
But seriously, on a serious note, like honestly, that trip was the best thing I ever did. Best time of my life. Most fun I've ever had.
Okay.
Yeah.
Killer.
Well, I feel. Oh, you got it. You got it. I was wondering if you got it or not.
I did. No
There
thanks
it
to you.
There was no signal in there.
I'm
If it
just
wasn't
kidding.
for me, you wouldn't have even known it was there.
That's true. That is true. Yeah.
Steve, is this like
So
someone's pencil sketch something on a shirt? What is this?
It's basically exactly that, like a pencil sketch.
It's a soaker on a wolf, and I saw it as soon as I went in there. I saw it, and I was like, Steve.
Yeah.
But yeah, for some reason my message didn't get through to the group till like 4 hours later. So
Slow.
I honestly almost thought this was a Heroes and Villains shirt when I saw it. I didn't realize it was in the.
It looks like a Heroes and Villains shirt.
I'd echo. I feel like I've talked about how Celebration went because it's been 3 weeks now, I think. But I'd echo everything that Chris said. Obviously, I think it was interesting that like we all kind of have our niches, but I loved meeting John and Marvin, even though like I don't talk to them or that was my first time meeting them, and they're both so nice, even though they don't know me from Adam. I feel like, but and I just meeting people I talked to about art prints a few times and like putting names to faces and people I didn't know were going to be there. And I was even talking to someone yesterday about how they were really like proud of themselves for even going, and that's not really something they normally would have done. And I think that it was probably outside of a bunch of people's comfort zones, but it just the whole atmosphere that Saturday, especially like seeing the Boushh helmet and just like people walking up to us and saying hi, and all the hyperdrive guys too. And I was hanging out with the RS guys like every night until the pub closed. So that was really cool. And meeting Andrea and Becca, and yeah, it was just, I can't wait to do it again. I'm looking for excuses to go back. Don't all speak at once. Oh, there's another picture I'm in. That's good.
yeah, Yeah, you
Oh,
got
you
cut
didn't
off the other one for some reason, CC. There's the big group one, and then it like finishes at me, doesn't it? And then
Thankfully, Clarky, the photographer, he took a photo that included me in it. So
oh, okay, good.
So I got a good one of Jason. You still awake, Jay?
Yeah, I'm awake.
Uh-oh.
I purposely didn't. I
Barely.
purposely didn't take a lot of pictures. No, I'm awake. You guys can't hear me?
Can hear
we
you.
can hear you. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
You're lucky you're still alive. You're lucky
we were
you're
in
both
the-
still alive after that episode.
Chris left the
Yeah.
room, and I don't know. We got on the. I was something like, "Okay, be careful of the model." One night, he's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's really sturdy." I'm like, "Well, no, still, you got." He's like, "Well, watch. You can throw this thing around," and I'm like, "Okay, let me take a picture of you doing it."
Oh, look, it's
So-
all good.
Yep. He was doing it multiple times too. It was great. It really
You
was.
can get a good shot of it in the air. That's why.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done
yeah.
it if it was like an X-wing. I knew it was a solid piece. It's the only reason why I did it. I would have never
What I
done
really-
it to most other pieces.
I really got a hoot out of when we were doing the stream.
Yeah,
And
John
Simmons-
chucked it like
Simmons-
a football across the room.
Threw it, and Chris goes, "Oh, well, maybe that did crack just now. Put it down."
Yeah, it was the way I caught it. It wasn't a soft landing.
Uh,
Hey, my workman. I make things to last, man.
I guess so.
Yep.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, yeah, had a good time. Hopefully, we can all make it to Japan for the next one. Should
2
be
years,
good.
right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yep, 2025.
Less than that already. It's already 1 month down.
My oldest son is really into Japanese things, and he's taken a couple years of the language, so he's all gung ho about planning the trip and all that. So should be good.
Yeah, he was on the phone planning things out the day you found out.
Yeah, he was already planning, right?
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Good chat activity tonight as well. Good to see Matt and Nathan joining us today. It's good to have the whole gang here. And I think we're just gonna go back to the 2-week schedule. So we'll do this again in 2 weeks. And can go from there. So thanks everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.